I know my sacred rights when I write. Who am I to judge? I'm in my pen tonight. I got booked in the pages with blue bars in. I started doing the sentence and finished at the margin. My mind tried to escape, but I'm the correctional garden. Max in the mental state, full of gems while I'm jogging. Using words and terms till I serve my turn. On my brain cells form into a bell's bond. Recording while I'm self-rewarding. Like I spit 3 autumns. When I release a masterpiece, just talking. That's how I get when I'm zoning. Just flowing. I make the listener a prisoner of the moment. The old face was abolished, reshaped and polished. Graduate from college, move to different states. The same people that hate make the dollar. Leonardo da Vinci envy. Cathedral cardinals were busy throughout the cities of Italy. The evil part of the history and mystery. Replaced the people darker than pygmy. Eventually, Michelangelo and Bible radicals had it gold by the Pope from that century to cover art immensely, intentionally. To dark ages from archaic, from rock paintings who started language, charts and data, tribal marks invaders, before titles and parts of Asia. The heart was nature, Africa was far ancient. Older periods, stars Sirius over pyramids, walls with cobra images. Rituals were open the mouths of mummies. Or biblical, how to rip a crowd for money. Identical, beneath the clouds of countries. Subliminal, one wears the crown is chubby. While we hungry, they ugly and frowned upon me. Look down on us, but count on us, and our growling tummies. Arrest the devil, read him his rights, eat a mites. In the courts of the cross, the Lord's jury seated Christ. And the 2 witnesses since Genesis. Bringing the devil as God prisoner. The job for the minister, persecute him. Then drag him to the chair to execute him. He tries to bribe you, stone him with Bibles. Give thanks to the Lord for he is good. A million saints with their swords to the devil's hood. Metal hooves, stand in heaven where I never stood. Only in hell, music and spells. Magic only several could. Before religions, oral traditions. Total transitions, Dogons, Egyptians. Both arms are risen, the boat gone and drifting. The throw on depiction, there's more on subscriptions. Snowstorms on Christians. Black magic and sorcery. Mathematics, bad habits, horrors that I see. And dialogue. Giving honor and all glory, thankful and painful during long sufferings, calm when storms hovering, protected by my guardian angels. The lower and the upper wings are covering, for soul restructuring. I'm like Job recovering, loosen all the knots and the cluttering till I'm filled with coloring. My life's a book with crayons and spray on. Our legs and arms are bronze from the Amazon, lost tribes in Babylon. North skies we sung a song, sweet chariots, then we carried on. Came from the nebula as settlers. We came here to plant grain, then explain the weather. The 10 spirits of the Sephirites, their attributes and appearance. 10, this is the beginning. The hot ones like the chakra transcendent. Our demeanors in Vina, in its likeness in its image. The next is dot like my eye, the astronaut on the ziggurat. Comet rocks past the equinox. Cast it on my headdress. The space cadet, that's the message. Then Gavura like Suma. Then Teferi, then the tea beverage. Connect with comedics, genetics and deep merits. Next up is next suck. After is holding your soul. The Malkut, the Tao book. Weed is Nubian, brown kush. Take away the image you saw. Now look. Jacob vengeance on Esau, his crown took. Before the Platos and the Aristotles. In days of old, those were pharaoh novels. And dialogue. And dialogue. And dialogue. And dialogue. And dialogue.
Come with actions from a praxis. Every tree is going dialogue. Become paper for my reasoning and dialogue. Rhythmic, big applause to the lion god. Round of 6 mountains, quick the sounds can make the giants nod. Mayan guard, zodiac clocks made of compliant cogs. Move barbarians, medicines from a second crop. Hallucination equations lost in vagina bar. They all bow when I walk into the highest lodge. Climbed out the pupil in the all-seeing iris rods. Vivid third eye massage. Flying pigs high up the hog. While they hoarding, I'm boarding the next astral plane. The wheel turns, but I never seen his accents change. The same script, just the actors in the Apple frame. I'll be given different roles, written just to act the same. And clearly few can master's flame. Who can reenact the same? That's a shame. Planets rotating as the math explains. Shed my skin, left a million bodies on the path I came. Killed my former selves and got away, but look what that became. Vast terrain, the sky releases science when I ask for rain. Master brain, if you don't have a name, you don't have an aim. In and out this world so many times, still I haven't came. I can see the next me, seen through galactic frames. 7 keys, bed degrees, demons on our path get slain. Royal Priesthood, our reputation got them scared to death. Devils caught wind of us approaching, they give up their breath. Treasure keep a century, either season with time spice. I ate a clock and defecated minutes from my hindsight. I took the 7 vows and ruled from infinite to finite. He's in the days, but he only entered it to finite. Looking at my chest, now she got interest in the finite. Talisman, tortoise man, the ignorant divine height and body. All the Gnostics knew their wisdom's a divine right. Profound magic of a master at the round tablet. Heaven's real meal, not immortal from the ground addict. Holy evidence, open portals in my crown addict. Special spectators took the spirit world around back. And why knows like why know is ignorance bliss. But it's all mirage, vanished with one flick of my wrist. Took a picture of my watch like it didn't exist. Photo of my photons from the mystic abyss. Serpents with a hawk face, circus in my thoughts race. Knew my Pegasus would be the quickest at the horse race. Spearhead the mirror fed me visions of the Lord's face. Arab in the abracadabra, hot rockadabra. Zigzag, Zodiac, Killah, the next massacre.
Hey, man.
Hey. For everybody who's listening, who's tuning in right now, y'all just missed the show. We had an amazing show. No, it's Royal Priesthood Wednesdays. We're here with a special guest by special request back here on the day after one of the greatest books that have ever been written here in circulation. You know, I had a time with him last time here on Royal Priesthood Wednesday, so he's back to get into more stories. You know, I almost when I read the stories, I'm like, this can't be a real person, right? But it's a real person, right? He's here, he's a real person. So these are the kind of stuff. These stories are the kind of things that movies are made about, right? So if you like Goodfellas, or if you like Casino, or if you like any of those things, you like King of New York, right? The writing and the storytelling capability, like your recollection, is phenomenal, right? So it becomes an honor and privilege at this time to introduce some of the others and welcome back here to the Killah Priest Podcraft Royal Priesthood Wednesday special. Our friend from New York, a friend of ours from New York here, Brooklyn, Mr. Sante D'Orazio is back here. Welcome back. How you feel?
Welcome to my home.
You're welcome. You're all welcome. Enjoy.
Yeah. The audience should know that we're both, born in Newark, New Jersey?
Yes.
And I grew up in Brooklyn, in Flatbush. And you grew up where?
In Newark, yeah.
You grew up okay. You didn't spend time in Brooklyn, just visiting, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Brooklyn said that Newark is the sixth borough. That's what Brooklyn folks say. Not New York, but
right.
Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I found a way to go to Brooklyn on the streetway through East New York.
What's that?
So,
you took the street tour.
Yeah. So it was an eye-opening experience, and that place, we call it Medina. There's a separation between Mecca and Medina, right? And indiscriminate to whether you follow the law or not. If you name something, it automatically becomes it for you, right? So for everybody else, it's Brooklyn, right? But for the gods, it's Medina. right? And Harlem is Harlem, but for the gods, it's Mecca, right? So Mecca and Medina.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you look at the place, the historical place, Mecca and Medina, there was always some tension in between, right?
Right.
Mecca is where you go historically, pre-Islamic, where they would pick your pocket type of situation, right? And Medina is where they would take it from
you. Right.
you. So they were strong on you. So if you look at Brooklyn and if you look at Harlem, it's the same kind of thing. Like they'll find a way into your pocket over here to pull your pockets out. So if you look at Chicago and you look at Detroit, you got C Medina and you got D Mecca, right? So
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls and Detroit Pistons. That's a rivalry, right?
Oh my God,
So
that was
Chicago Bears and Detroit Lions, it's rivalry. Because once you name something, it becomes it. Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's in that in that energy. So
absolutely. Yeah, I went to Erasmus Hall High School on Flatbush Avenue in Church. And that was rough. I remember Mike Tyson, when I worked with him a few times, and he said, "Oh shit, Erasmus, we used to go there and kick people's asses all the time." I was like, thank God I wasn't there when you showed up, man. This guy, he's a sweetheart. Let me tell you that. Okay.
Yeah, I need the story. That's where I was going to go. You read my mind. Here it is.
Cool. I was standing next to him, and my shoulders wide were half. So double me was as wide as his shoulders were, and fierce. I was like, getting hit by him is like, you're dead, man. If he can't kill me with one punch, easy. Holy mackerel, was he big in person? But wow, but like a bull, you know? It was like, wow. But he was the gentlest guy. He was a real sweetheart. It's the opposite of the image, you know?
Right.
And, you're talking about that story of how I went to shoot him in Vegas?
Yes.
I
This
was
an epic ride in my mind. Like I'm outside the gate with you. It's like, wait a minute.
I got the job. I got an Esquire assignment to go shoot Mike Tyson for one day. Arrived the night before, leave the next morning. No, not next morning, day after. And so me and my assistants, we loaded up the van. We went over and rang the bell at the right time. And his assistant came on and said, Mike doesn't want to shoot today. You know, I said, well, okay, but it's all set up. He goes, well, Mike just doesn't want to shoot. I said, okay, what if I come back later? He said, oh, you can try, but he's not going to want to shoot either. I'm like, wow, okay. So I got to go back to the hotel, call up Esquire. Listen, I'm going to have to go back tomorrow because I did try going later, and they said no. So I said, I'm going to need an extra day, you know, I got to get approval for all that. You know, they're paying the bill. No problem. I went back the next day, rang the bell, same thing. Mike don't want to shoot today. I was like, wait a minute, man, I just flew in from New York. I go, all right. He goes, I don't know what to tell you, man. He was nice. Kid was nice. So I said, okay, I got to figure this out. Because you always have to pull a rabbit out of your ass, man. You know, it's not, you ain't got a hat. You just got to pull it right out of your ass. So I called up Russell Simmons, who's an old friend of mine. I said, Russ, man, you know, I'm having a problem getting to Mike. He's in the house, but he doesn't want to let me in. He doesn't want to shoot. And I'm already here on my second day, and I got to go. Maybe you can make a call for me. So 10 minutes later, the gates opened up. And the assistant came out. He said, that was a good call, calling Russell. Good call. So I came in, and Mike said, I said hello. He goes, man, Russ tells me you're a brother, and you're from Brooklyn, like me, man. He goes, why did you say so? I go, I don't know. I go, yeah, now I did. He goes, great, come on in. And my assistants unloaded the van, and he said he was with two of his friends. They were like playing pool. And he didn't want to interrupt his game of pool the day before, you know. So That's what I got to deal with. So I said, can I look around the back? Maybe there's a shot for me. You know, I'd rather do something outside. So yeah, I got to go take a look. So I go by myself in the back, and I'm looking around, it's tennis court, this and that. Then I hear, you know how when a dog is running with their claws on cement, I hear it coming from behind me. I go, shit, I hope he doesn't have a Doberman. You know, I turn around. It's a white tiger. A tiger jumps on me and licks my face. And I'm like, oh, I was like, and Mike came out laughing. I'm surprised I didn't shit myself, you know? But I mean, nobody I know gets a tiger to run over and jump on them in your friend's backyard. And he came out laughing with his friends, and I was like, oh wow, man. My assistants had my camera ready. Okay, let's do this. I said, you gotta do me a solid, man. You're Mike Tyson. You gotta take your shirt off, you know? So he said, all right. So the tiger was still there, and he basically grabbed the tiger, started wrestling with it, no shirt on, everything. Got my shot, you know? And then I did a few more because I wanted to look like I was taking an interest, you know, 5 minutes, I got my first shot, I'm done. But I took a lot more, and they were great pictures, man. Great pictures, you know, classics, all time. Mike Tyson and Wrestling the Tiger. You can look it up in the book. There's a picture in the book of it, you know. Wow. But that's how, but it went on a little bit more than that. I'm looking at the book right now, see if I can find it. It took to the third day for me to get in. And that's here's just another story. I did that one. Janet, she was great, man. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. I wish I could see her once again. Look at Mr. Prince, man. Look at that shot. Whoa, what's going on? Look at that. And as I'm looking for Mike Tyson, of course, I might as well show you the sights as I'm looking past all this stuff. But basically, you have to do whatever you need to do to get your picture taken. Not taken, but to take the picture, you know? Thank God I made a lot of friends by that time. And Russell's an old friend of mine, you know? Yeah, so he did me a big solid. And he was like, no problem, man. Made one phone call, the gates opened up, man. That was it. But that's a good one. I can't find the picture, of course, but I got a lot of other ones. Look at me. Look at me 25 years ago. Damn, can you see? There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Look, that's Raquel Welch's daughter, Tawny. I had a wild time, man. I had a wild time. Yeah.
So you were explaining a little bit before you went live what it was like putting this together and also recording the audio book too. So now that the book is out, right?
Right.
Where are you in regards to the feeling? Is there an elation? Is there what are the sights and the sounds, you know, from this book?
There's you know, man, you get wrapped up in so many things you have to do, you know. There are talks and book signings being organized, and they're being organized, a lot of them on the last minute. You know, it's like there's a place called Casa Cipriani that has a nice jazz room, so we're going to have a talk there. And I had organized getting Matt Dillon to do it with me. You know, we'll both sit up on the dais there and answer questions and talk about stories like we're doing now. And,
when is that?
Huh?
When is that?
That one's October 27th. Okay, then I have on the 19th or the 16th, one or the other. No, the 14th, sorry. at the Soho Grand Hotel, and that'll be with a poet friend of mine, Max Black. So he's like a couple of years older than me, and but he's as hip as anybody, and so it'll be another type of dynamic dialogue between us because of him. You know, each one of us, like you and Matt and Max Black, have a different perspective, and so it's never like repeated and never a dull moment, I should say. You know. Yeah. So, and where were we going with that? What was?
I was just asking. You know, the book is out.
Elation. You said elation. Even though I've got people around me doing things, I still got to get on the phone with Matt, with Max, with this one, that one, my accountant and my lawyer to a gallery. And they're still bombarding me, man, with shit. So it's like almost I don't have time to say, Yahoo, let's open up the champagne and have a drink. You know, it's like I can't because I got to be on the podcast with knowledge and I don't want to be messed up, you know? Otherwise, I'll be sitting here like this, you know? I don't want to do that, you know? So, yeah, I haven't really celebrated in any which way. Didn't go out with my friends last night, nothing like that, you know? Went back straight to work, man. You know, you got to, you know what it's like to juggle, man, you know? It's all about that, you know? So, yeah.
So you showed Janet and you showed Prince. Now you got to share a little bit of the story.
Well, Prince is hysterical. Prince was funny as hell. I had this magazine called Gotham. They wanted to do a cover and one inside picture. So that's a light assignment for me. That's really good, you know. And so I got there early because Prince meant something to me. And I never worked with him before. And I know people who know him that felt very close to him. People I trusted and loved and trusted him. So I had that good vibe. So my assistants are putting the lights together and the client's not there yet. So I got there early, which I never really do. And I'm sitting there and all of a sudden this guy walks in. It's Prince, fully ready, just by himself. No entourage, no bodyguard. And he comes in dressed like Prince. And he's got his hat, his Borsellino type hat. I just showed you the picture. And I said, hey, man, nice meeting you. I know so-and-so, we're friends. And oh, yeah, all that. He goes, I said, the client's not here yet. He goes, you want to take pictures anyway? I said, fuck yeah. So I did, I don't know, a bunch of, there was film at the time, a bunch of rolls of film. And he knew, I know when I have the picture. And usually almost 90% of the time, my subject knows we got the picture because you feel the vibe. Because it's all about the vibe. You feel it. You know, you connected, you know. I felt it. You felt it. Yeah, you felt it. I felt it. You know, we got it. So he said, okay, I guess I should go. I said, I'm fine with that, man. I go, you're a breezer, man. I love you, man. You're great. Thank you. You know, so he left. And about a half hour later, the client showed up ready to meet Prince and shoot with him. They were all excited. I said, he already left, man. I got the Polaroids to show them the Polaroids. And they're like, wow. You know, they love the pictures, but, you know, they wanted to meet Prince, you know. But, hey, them's the breaks, man. That's how shit happens, you know. Yeah. Can you imagine if you're in that building, right? And we're on the 6th floor or something like that, and somebody on the 3rd floor, the elevator opens up, and Prince is there looking like Prince, right? By himself, man. no entourage, by himself. I would think I'm seeing things. I would say, no, this ain't really happening, is it? If I walked into that elevator. I think that's hysterical, man. He just went into his car and left. That was genius. I love that, man. I love that. That is so down to earth, man. I don't need no bodyguard or entourage. I'm Prince, man. Feeling safe, feeling secure. You know, no crowds. It's early in the morning. No paparazzi shit. You know, just a cool vibe. You walk into the studio, cool vibe. You know, I like this guy. He likes me. Boom. It's all about the vibe. That's how I work, man. I got no thinking, all feeling. You know, take that picture. Once I'm here, I'm feeling you. You know, and I know you're feeling me. That's how it works. You know, and I move around, you know, I work the space, you know, it's like I look for those in between moments that are special. A certain turn in the eyes looking right at you, you know, that moment, that 1 second, you know, boom. And then you got it, you know, that's the vibe. That's where it comes from. And then when you go home, you have at that time film or digital, then you have to go through all your shots that you took. And you got to find that vibe. Because a lot of times I don't shoot where I say, oh, no, man, no, not that angle. Just move your head a little bit. That's so fucked up, man. You know, that's so contrived. Everybody gets like uptight, you know.
Right.
So I move around, and sometimes I know this ain't the right angle. But I'm going to shoot it anyway because I want you to get into a rhythm and flow. I don't want you to think, oh, that's a mistake. I shouldn't do that angle. No, don't think that way. I want you to feel. It's like music. I want you to feel the vibe. And we move together. It's a slow ballet, you know, a slow dance. And, you know, boom, found you. Got you in the eyes, man. That's wow. Then you feel it there. You know, that was the success of my pictures. And not everybody works that way. You know, everybody has a different approach, like music, you know. But that's how I found that shot. And that was, I connected with him. I connected with Janet. She was like, I mean, there was something so familiar that when I would see her again somewhere, it would be like from across the room and we would go meet each other in the middle of the room to say hi, give a big hug, you know. That's special, you know. And I got it in the pictures. I mean, basically, I give every woman in my whole life, my career, a lot of respect. Growing up with a single mom, you know, and I learned that kind of respect for women. And so, Janet was nude, you know, under the sheets, and nobody gets to see around because I got boards up, so it's just me and her, you know, and so it becomes more special. She doesn't have to worry about people gawking at her. God forbid they see that angle, you know. You don't have to worry about it. I got you covered. And I'll never shoot when you're exposed. I'll tell you to move, you know. I'll direct you through my vibe. You know, I direct people with, you can, we all can, just direct people with that vibe. It's like, boom, connect with you, you know. Then you trust. And that's when you trust somebody, you know. And I always got your back. Because if you don't look good, I don't look good, you know. And I would never disrespect you, you know? So that's the trust that I need to have as a photographer to get my type of image. And the pictures are the proof, you know. I was a witness. I witnessed to a lot of shit. Did you want to recap that Russia story?
I definitely do. I was about to talk literally about travel. You know,
Okay.
travel overall,
Mm-hmm.
but these places in particular. You travel the world capturing images but also you traveled the world during the time where people weren't traveling the world like that. So you're traveling to places and spaces during time periods of history
Right.
that this person that's alive that might have been born that year, right?
Mhm.
So 35 years ago would be like 1989. So somebody born in 1989 who's eligible to be the president, right? Eligible to be president at 35, right? And they're in a place called America. Maybe they know something about it. 9 times out of 10 they don't, right?
Right.
But they have ideas. So you're
Right.
traveling the world, you know, in the 70s, 80s. You're in places, things happening. So I just want to kind of let you flow in regards to travel and what it was like to travel during these time periods of history and the way the world was. As, oh,
That's a good question. That's a good question because sometimes I take it for granted that everybody knows and they don't. How can they?
right.
But I got to go to places like Russia and Leningrad when St. Petersburg was called Leningrad after Lenin, their Marxist leader. And the wall in Germany was still up. So I got to travel to East Berlin, where Westerners weren't allowed mostly. And I got to go to Thailand in the early days before it became a big vacation place that it is now. Phuket was just a village, and there was one big hotel, and that was it. Now it's like Coney Island of luxury hotels, But I feel very blessed. Looking back, I can't believe it myself sometimes, and then I traveled with some of the most beautiful women in the modeling world, in Hollywood. And but man, sometimes when you're rolling with something, like I said earlier about my book signing and all that, and I didn't really celebrate, you have fun. Believe me, you have fun when you're there. You're impressed with the new world you're seeing, whether the Roman ruins in Libya or basically a temple in Thailand when nobody was traveling in that vacation mode that way. Into the Amazon with Naomi Campbell, the Venezuelan Amazon, the shoot Sports Illustrated. God damn, man. I actually would wish for it to all happen again, in many ways. Somebody asked me, if you died and came back, who would you want to be from history? And I said, I'd like to be Sante D'Orazio in 1992. Because, man, I was rolling big time, man. Yeah. And going to all these places with, Christy Turlington, Stephanie Seymour, Cindy Crawford, Naomi, Linda Evangelista, I went in 1981 to Milan, Italy with a half-assed portfolio. And a lot of them were drawings that I did in the Brooklyn Museum, of nudes, And so I got to know, I hung out there for a couple of months, and I got to know the agents at the agencies and the modeling agencies. And they threw a dinner one night, and I was sitting across this American girl that had parents from Italy like mine, and we hit it off. And she was brand new, just starting out. Her name was Linda Evangelista, and we've been friendly ever since. It goes back to 81, right? And so I know Christy, I know Naomi when she was 17. Christy Turlington, I met when she was 14 in Rome for the Italian haute couture collection, because they used to have them in Rome, not Milan, as they do today. She was there with her mom doing a shooting with another great photographer, older than me, Hiro. His name was Hiro. And he was Richard Avedon's assistant prior. And she was doing the cover of Italian Vogue. I bumped into her in the hallway, and I was like, wow. At 14, she was I don't know, man. She was an alien child, so beautiful, but angelic too. And still green, behind the ears, still wet behind the ears, young, excited about the world. It was like so sweet, man. And then we became friends. We hung out all the time. So and also in my wild, crazy days, my loft, I have a big loft, and then my girlfriend knew all the girls as well. She was a big model, and those girls used to come here on a Friday night to get dressed to go out. So, and it was just me. I was the only guy. And we were all drinking and getting all fun and goofy and ready to go out to the clubs, which we did like 4 times a week, if not more. And I always had to play the fake boyfriend in case they got in trouble with some guy, One night I saved Christy, right, from some guy. Oh, this is my boyfriend. I was the boyfriend. And the guy backed off. About an hour later, Stephanie Seymour had a problem and comes over, and it's the same guy. And she's saying, this is my boyfriend, Sante. I thought you were, what do you call his boyfriend? I go, yeah, well, some of us are lucky. Some of us are lucky that way. But it was always like they'd get dressed and I'm like, oh, damn, you going to wear that tonight? And I was like, shit. I know I'm going to have to fight off some hounds, It's like, for nothing, come on, put something else, the sweater on or something. No. I would have needed to bring a baseball bat every night if I could, It was like, oh, man, what fun, though. Looking back, it was so much fun. Oh.
So this journey of putting all of these things together,
right?
How much fun, reflection, like what were your thoughts pulling all of these stories out of your head and putting them down and going back to pictures and all kinds of things, like recreating this wow that's in your mind that you lived, and putting it in the compilation?
Well, I had an accident, and I had several, like 4 knee surgeries, and each one took almost 2 years in between. It was like severe, and I spent a lot of time basically on my ass because I couldn't shoot, and I was just like thinking about scripts and stuff like that, and but I said, every great writer that I ever read about talked and spoke raw about their life. Not just the wins, but the failures, the breaks, the breakdowns, whether it's addictions and I love reading that because it makes them human to me. And I knew, like, I was a great storyteller. My friends were always entertained at the table. Like, we'd have some drinks, and I'd tell them the story about this one or that one. I'd have them all laughing. And I just said to myself, I should just write these stories down, And so pen to paper, man. No typing. I'm dyslexic. Fucks me up. Pen to paper. So like a diary, I'd write one of the stories, 2 pages, put it in a box. Another story, 4 pages here, 6 pages there, 10, 2, 1, whatever. Put them all in the box and keep on going. and no corrections, no punctuation, just let it flow, write it all down. And then at the end of the year, I said, man, I got like 300 pages here. I said, this shit's a book. And and I would let one or two friends read a story or two, and they'd be like, fuck, this is great, man, you should do a book. And then I had somebody transcribe everything into type, and had it typed up. Then I hired an editor to help me clean it up with punctuation, repetitions. You don't realize, you're talking and there's a lot of repetition. You got to narrow it down. You got to make a story clearer. It's like I'd get pissed off because they'd say, well, you said you were in the backyard. Okay, but you have to tell me what backyard. Tell me, what does it look like? Tell me what it smells like. And I was like, interesting. Yeah. And so I added those in. They're like flavor, who lived next door? Was anybody interesting from that? I said, oh yeah, I remember that crazy neighbor Joey had, and and then I'd write him in, and you start building it. You start raw and you start building it, but you don't ever try doing it in somebody else's language. Don't try to write like Shakespeare. Don't try to write like Hemingway or, James Baldwin, don't write like you talk, and then we clean it up later, but if it's true to you on paper, then it'll be true to other people. If you try faking it and bullshitting, making yourself look better or whatever, or putting somebody down, if you try that, people read that shit and they know it's fake, made up. Great music, man. The best shit comes from the raw truth. Whatever they're singing about, or even just if it's jazz or something, the music tells you. Well, and think of Billie Holiday singing, the lyrics, Miles Davis on the horn, comes from their own truth, and that's how you should always pursue in whatever art you do. It's got to be true to you. And you got to always be open to corrections or additions, always. Keep your eyes and ears open, always. Take everything, even if he feels negative at first. Just check. Do they have a point? Or can I make it clearer? Because I didn't make my point as clear. They misunderstood. But no, I could be clearer. And those descriptions or whatever, you walked into the backyard and it smelled like roses, and there were these beautiful roses. And then I saw Joey barbecuing naked. It's like boom.
That punch, right?
But yeah, so that little passage I wrote about from the front to the backyard that was lined with roses is putting you in a place
right.
for your mind to feel, and then the smack in the face seeing him barbecuing naked. That didn't happen. I just invented that now, but that's the metaphor. That's the analogy, of creating art. Your art. It's always got to be your art. Can't ever think. As soon as you think, will they like this? You're screwed. Because then you're not reaching in to your truth. You're faking it for them. And they're going to know it. Believe me, one false note. Did I hear that? Yeah. I don't know how real this guy is, Is he inventing this shit? But I tell you in the book, I tell you about my flops. I tell you about how many times I failed. You know, I tell you how many times I got brokenhearted, hurt, death, transformation, seeing, feeling the world instead of just describing it to yourself. Also, I've learned how to become more present in life. That right now, this is the only reality that exists. Here I am talking to you. So the biggest pain we have is yesterday and tomorrow, and we're never present. See? So it's clearing the woods, clearing the woods. And so trying to be truthful at all times, honest, when you can, it's like, it's a philosophy of life for me. So life and art are one and the same. You can't lie to yourself if you're conscious of it. And you can't lie in your art because you think it sounds like somebody else's, that sounds cool, man. It sounds like so-and-so on, what do you call it, album? Well, you lost the track, man. You lost the track. That's not where you're supposed to go. You can be inspired, but don't play it to make it sound like somebody else. Then you're lying to yourself. So that's art, and your way of life is the same. Makes sense, no?
Perfect sense.
So that's a lesson for anybody starting out, And those are the things, I got broken so many times, man, but I got up again, and I rang the bell. I'm here. It's me again. And then sometimes they let you in, and I don't mind telling you because every one of us is going through that every day of our lives, There's not one person who's not going through something right now as we speak. It doesn't exist in the world, Maybe some saint up in the cave somewhere. I don't know. But I doubt that too. He's worried how he's going to eat next. All I got is this empty bowl. So he's stressing out because he's got to climb down that hill again, go into the village and beg for some food. And he's getting old, so his knees ain't feeling so good. So he's stressing out. Oh, God, that's so funny. That's the way.
This old movie that they called, Bruce Lee actually titled The Silent Flute. It was his movie, and they didn't want to put it out. So they released it posthumously, and they changed it and called it The Circle of Iron.
The Circle of Light.
Or Circle of Iron. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Circle of Life, same thing. Right?
Yeah.
So there's a part, as you were speaking, I thought of it, where you talked about the monk, right?
Right.
So there's a guy who's a seeker, and he's on this quest to find this book.
Right.
And this book is rival to have all of the answers of life, whatever the
Right.
is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So he's on this journey, and he meets this blind man. And this blind man becomes his guide, so to speak.
Right.
So he's out there trying to catch a fish. The seeker, he's out there trying to catch a fish. And it's like, his guide tells him, you can't do it. You can't step in the same piece of water twice.
Right.
So, and then he says to him, he said, a fish saved my life once. And he said, I ate him. You understand what I'm saying? So he's like,
right.
So, he's getting fed along this path,
right.
But he's still looking for this thing. This thing is compelling him to go on this quest, and he meets different people along the way, blah, blah, blah. And they all have something for him. And, the job is to prepare him So he goes through all of these things, right? And then he makes it to the guy who's supposed to be the guardian of the book.
Right.
And he's been fighting tooth and nail, face death to get there. He gets there. So he's right there. And the guy, he's like, when do we fight? He's like, fight? For what? so he's like,
Right.
you know, he's like, you can take my place here and you could become the guardian or the keeper of the book.
Right.
So he's like, I need to look in it first. So he goes and gets the book. And he opens the book, but he cautions them. He's like, you've been through a great many trials to get here. But I think this is, basically going to be your greatest trial. So he picks up this book and looks in the book. And it mirrors on every page.
It's mirrors.
Yeah. Mirrors on every page. And he tells them there is no book. He's like, the seekers fight their way here year after year in hopes of blazing expectation.
Right.
To find this book. It has all the secrets in the world. And what do they find? He said themselves.
Their own reflection, yeah.
Right. There's no, he's like, there's no book. So he laughs. The seeker, he laughs, and he's like, there's different people along the way that you met. They create, the trials for the seeker to come here to make sure that they're worthy. He's like, and one of them plays a flute that only I can hear.
Right.
It's determined the silent flute.
Right.
And what he's actually looking for is someone to replace him.
Right, sure.
Right, because he's been there forever, right? Since he fought his way there.
Right. Now he wants to get the hell out of there.
he's like, release me.
Yeah, for sure.
Man. And
man.
he leaves, and he comes back, and he finds the blind man, and he said, "You looked in the book." He said, "Yeah." He said, "What did you find?" He said, "Everything." And he handed him the flute, and he starts to play the flute.
Huh.
So, there's an interesting dichotomy because this is Bruce Lee's, one of his stories, one of many movies that he wanted to have and shows that he came up with. So posthumously, they released the film and they used one of his students, right? They used one of his students as the seeker. And David Carradine vicariously is one of his students because when they did the Kung Fu series, another one of those Bruce Lee things, right? They didn't want him to play the role of the monk. Because he said America wasn't ready for an Oriental superhero.
Yeah,
So-
I remember reading something like that. Yeah.
So Bruce says, "Oh, get David Carradine to do it. It would be funny to see a ballet dancer masquerade as a Kung Fu expert every week."
Huh. Never heard
So
that.
he wrote it in his book.
Right. Yeah, I didn't read his book. Yeah.
Yeah. He got the job by mocking him. So it's like, all right, you're not ready for me, so
Yeah.
go get this ballet dancer right here.
Have you ever seen the film of called The Grand Master by Wong Kar-wai? Have you ever seen it?
I think so.
It's the teacher. It's the story of Bruce Lee's teacher, and Bruce Lee was one of his students in Hong Kong. But if you write it down, The Grand Master, I'll spell you his name, the director, WONGKAR. I think it's WEI, Wong Kar-wai, one of the greatest directors who Scorsese, Spielberg, they all look up to him. Coppola. They all look up to Wong Kar-wai, and it's beautiful. And the fucking fighting scenes, wow! And none of the fake shit like flying through the air 200 feet onto a bamboo twig, you know. But yeah, is
I think I might have seen it.
no, you would know, man. You would know that last and made that big of an impression on me. Big impression. Beautifully filmed, beautifully directed, and a beautiful story between love and fighting, you know. And yeah, because he lived in China during the Japanese invasion,
Right.
to a prosperous family, and he became the master of the southern form of fighting. There was the northern and the southern form. And when the war broke out, he lost with his family, separated by his wife and children, lost any money that they had, and he survived by teaching kung fu along the way, and then made it to Hong Kong because the communists were really getting down on everybody. And so he taught at small dojos until he became recognized as the master that he always was. And you see how he took on 10 men at a time. And yeah, we see that in Kung Fu all the time, those films, you know. But this, you see the movement, the slow motion, the part of the arm he hits, the hand, it's poetry. It's poetry, and done with such great colors and no gimmicks, you know, just art. And yet it's commercial enough that anybody into martial arts sees this film is going to be blown away. And it's not a new film. It's like 20 years old. But I highly recommend it. The grand.
Did they make a newer version, like an
somebody
adaptation?
tried. Yeah, it was called IP Man.
I've seen all of those.
Yeah, they're all based on him.
If there's a newer version of the older version. Like
no, this is the first version, because it wasn't called IP Man. His name was IP. That's how they referred to him. Okay, so but the film itself is called The Grand Master, and then everybody after that copy or try to. You know how people try to imitate, you know, and they do a lousy job, but not a lousy one. It's entertaining. You know, but it's not like, doesn't have the depth, the soul that we were talking about earlier. This one has the soul in it. That's what's great. Yeah.
So I know he studied Wing Chun.
What's that?
But Bruce, I know Bruce Lee had studied Wing Chun, but I know he didn't stay around long enough to master it.
Right. He mastered other things, you know. He didn't live long enough. How old was he when he died? In his 30s?
In his 30s, yeah.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
I know that he had dedicated his life behind the scenes to finishing to master Wing Chun. And, you know, Jet Li sort of took up the mantle of, because Wing Chun is very vast, but the wushu style is something that Jet Li had popularized and brought to the film. You know, a martial artist who became an actor, right? He's a martial artist, not the movie martial arts that people show and see.
I see.
So he kind of takes the mantle and keeps on going.
Okay.
Donnie Yen is an actor turned martial artist who didn't have a background in Wing Chun. Right. So it's like these adaptations, they continue to go and go.
Right. Yeah, sure. No, there's always people trying to do adaptations, but the true key to it all was for centuries, mastering its traditional form.
Right.
And so, and usually those masters knew all the other forms and were masters at it as well.
Right.
You know, and but that's what I learned from just this film, The Grand Master. It was really great, man. Really great.
I have to check it out. I saw so many of the films that they did over the years, and a kung fu flick I didn't see. You know, I'm going through my mind. Like, oh, wait a minute.
No, man, you would know. You would know. You recognize a great sound when you hear it, right? I would think. Right. I recognize great film when I see it. This is a great film, and highly regarded. But it's got a spiritual essence to it. That's right. What I was trying to say. Well, I didn't want to use the word spiritual because everybody has their own connotation of what that means. But when I say spiritual, I mean it comes from the inner depth of someone. And you get that out of the actors, the acting, the directing, the cinematography. It's like, wow, everybody was on target, man. That's rare, you know? Yeah. And you will thank me if you see it and you never did see it before. But seeing, I could watch that film 10 times and always see something new. That's a great film. Right. You know? And there are life lessons in it as well, which make it even better. You know, we hit on our own mythology through other people. We recognize ourselves from other people's paths. You know?
That's Ghost Dog for me. Every time I watch Ghost Dog, I've been watching Ghost Dog since it came out. Since 1999.
Yeah. Of course.
Over and over. Yeah. And
that was shot in Jersey City, wasn't it? Some of it, or in the outskirts between Newark, Jersey City. Yeah. Because we talked about it last time. You grew up in the projects, next to the projects I grew up in. Yeah, the Columbus housing projects is when I was born. That's where we lived. And you said you were not too far from there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We lived a great deal of places when I was growing up. You know,
yeah.
Great deal of places I recollect, and then places I had to hear about. You know, we lived over here. We lived over here. We lived over here.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
Everybody has their own life, right? So
yeah.
Story, right?
Sure. I mean, I was still barely 2 when we moved to Brooklyn, so I don't remember living in Newark. You know, but I remember visiting all the time as a kid because I still had relatives there. Because Newark had a big Italian community. I don't know if it was still there when you grew up. Do you remember?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it's still around.
Yeah.
They changed the names of stuff and areas and things now, so it's like I don't know half of what I know. The stuff that I remember, most of that stuff is gone and closed and all that. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, Harlem was a big Italian area too back in pre-World War II days. Harlem had a lot of Italians living there. That's why they have that famous restaurant, Rayo's. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I've never been there, but it's one of the old ones left. You know, that still represents it, the old Italian community. Yeah. But yeah, I got to check that out one day. I got to test the spaghetti sauce. Me. I'll tell you if it's good or not. Yeah. It's funny. What kind of food you into?
I don't got a favorite food.
No.
I thought about it. Like, you know, people ask, you know, a lot of times they're like, what's your favorite food? I don't even remember.
Well, you
But
can't
if I
eat.
thought about an Italian, food, eggplant parmesan, that's what my mother used to make. So
Oh, sweet, man.
yeah,
That's nice.
so
That's great.
one of those memories of
So
hers.
you're part Italian. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're all Sopranos in New Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, the interesting thing is, and I don't see it written about much, is that like my mom welcomed everybody into our home, and no matter what color you were, no matter what part of the globe you were from, as long as you ate her pasta, you were good. You were welcome back. And sometimes, once in a blue moon, somebody would say, no, thank you, Maria. I just ate. My mother later, when he left, would go, he's no good. But most of the time she was right, But so I had the United Nations come to my house, basically, of friends from school, from Crown Heights to the Jamaican guys I knew in Crown Heights to the Polish kids 2 neighborhoods over. It didn't matter, and they all loved my mother's food. So that's the spirit I have with people, man. It's like, I don't care what you do. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care who the hell you are. If you have an attitude, if you're a good person, I recognize it. And I'll respect everything about you for that. Even if you're the guy who's running the food cart on a movie set, I can tell this guy's a good guy, and so that's what counts to me. A lot of times I knew famous producers and people like that, and they turn out to be close friends. And you know what? I never looked into their backgrounds in terms of their professional backgrounds. I never cared. I have an old friend of mine just been calling me. He was the youngest producer of a major motion picture studio, like I think it was Universal or Paramount. At 26 years old, he produced 200 films. And when I speak to him, it's like our voices are still the 32-year-olds, and but I only found out recently all his credits, and I know him 30 years because I always liked him.
Right.
And then I read about it recently because somebody asked me, and I was like, oh shit, Tom, you did this? Oh my God. I'm thinking to myself, you're such a moron. I'm thinking, well, you should know this shit. I go, I know, man, I know. But I don't look at life that way. I should, according to businessmen, but I don't. It's out of love, I do everything out of love. Even the battles I fight. I try, at least. Try to live my life that way. That's how I work. That's how I get good pictures. What comes from here? Yeah.
That's it. So I want to play. Last time we played a couple of songs, and I got your thoughts. So I got 2 here. I'm gonna play.
Okay.
So I can just get your thoughts.
I did a post today of just a bunch of all the pictures of the guys, but I still go back to James Brown, man. I love James Brown. Something fierce. He never lets me down, man. Let's see if you can hear this.
1, 2, 3, ho!
Norman Reedus. Josh Brolin, Norman. There it goes, Prince.
There we go.
Axl Rose. Keith Richards. Yeah, man. It was pretty good, huh? Ooh, and a beautiful babe. Yeah, look at Naomi in the background. Mickey Rourke in Little Italy. Check him out, man. The Boss. Me and Matt Dillon in Rome. Diamond-studded skull. Worth $100 million. Damien Hirst. Yeah. And me. 1, 2, 3. Dun, 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 dun. I love James Brown, man.
Yes.
He never gets tired. No, not
so
for
I'm
me.
gonna play real quick, and
then we'll have an introduction.
I love James.
Yeah. Are we taking a break then?
Yes, right now.
All right.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. 1.
Fire worshippers, Abraham followed Abraxas, Sax, priests, honorable and hollow words. Same words, sages of the ages, and prophets, Coptic, Gnostics, and apostles heard. And those sinning unfinished, now it's written in the ribbon, and held by 4 swallow birds. Beneath Abraxas practice, in the blackness, seance, each one of my classics. Burn a candle to Anu with bottled myrrh, and Quetzalcoatl and herbs. Priest the novel in the marble Ben Hur, a gold icon of Basilides of Alexandria. They sold to Italy from a palace out in Zambia. Stole from Sicily, Africa towers over Pangea. Amateur, reaching for my pleroma. Deep sleep in yoga. Psyches like the Pisces of Jonah. Tertullian, so I get the nutrients and come out a Nubian. I'm not talking about the ancient Natufians or hooligans when I'm putting out something new again. Let LF tell her death. Me, I'm an embellish on the angelic. Holding the mic like a relic. Last one left. Priest and purpose. Living footprints deep in the surface. Enough to be called a crater. Meditating in the Tibetan hall in Asia. We all evolved from nature. The ink shooting out my pen like flaming balls hitting my paper. I grab the dark horns of archons and star forms. The bars drawn to give you Mars floors to walk on. Epiphanius, Arrhenius, Hippolytus. Sit by fire, different writers sniffing coke. Who's the most highest? Baptizer, Holy Ghost. Santa Morte, Phantom in all gray. Stands in the hallway, head of a ram, put hands on your grave. Purpose, let the chords play. Priest never had an off day. Never let my sword lay, so all pray. Work from the bottom like Noah. Meditate, I slip into a coma till I reach my pleroma. Over kings, left their skull and bones expressed with screams. Naked, wet in streams, cold water, running dry, body sunken. Each finger a row of golden rings. Each tell their moments with heroic genes. It's detailed perfectly, encrypt in codes on beams like mercury. Written on scrolls unseen, only the word to see. Missing head rolls from guillotines and perjury. Body released the soul in surgery. The mirror is clean before it cracks. Killah is back at the murder scene to clean his tracks. At the darkest hour of the night, glides on the wings of bats. Like a black avenger called the crow above a phoenix bat. Swirling ravens around my fountain pen. There's all my written text, unforgiven death, counted sin. If so, I write this epistle, holding the crystal, trying to counter them. With rhymes I'm balancing, and the mind is challenging. And all my writing books that lightning pushed. Open with burning pages, minister from sermons from ages. A lot remain hermits nameless. Hip-hop ordained minister of greatness. Came in the game from a spaceship. My merkable message, wordsmith on records. Magic, check it. It's like I'm related to the inventor of Tetris. It's weird, cause as my name slowly go down in the pages of history, the book disappears. My bars then reappear in shapes that's great. From the top, then slowly drop. It's reoccurring as ghostly hip-hop. I'm the phantom. Hold your attention for ransom. In my father's house, there's many mansions. Each room a bar, lounge, and expanded. A black K stretched next to a Celtic P. The crest etched upon my eldry. Red rosaries, holy beads. They read, I wrote a creed for the dead that goes to the elderly. Try to put a hex and spell on me. Ropes around the necks fell from trees. Open the doors of the cellars, make you dwell in hell for centuries. As the middle age seal reveals the MCKP, an executioner, with a letter from Lucifer. The dreads go booyaka from Memphis to Utica. I'm really that vulgar, as I read from the stilly of the vultures. I'm hip-hop, I'm the city and the culture. Watch, I play chess upon the universe. Map first, flat earth, pull up my chair. I use the borough of Queens as my queen. Protect Brooklyn as king. They call check as I place Manhattan on the Madison Square. Then wait calm, you can't touch the Bronx. You in check, you got a problem, try to lift up Harlem. He touched Strong Island next. I start smiling, that's checkmate, Staten Island. 32 pieces from my Charlene set. Who went next? I shuffle tectonic plates like it's a deck. Any concept, my sword complete with all flesh. It's Killah, priest, the war vet. The goat of Psalms, coat of arms, and medals on my broad chest. Othello and shove devils into a vortex. Eyes yellow like the great owl. As my mic appears from out of gray clouds, my verse heard in wave sounds and frequencies of high pitches. Hide in hieroglyphics, the lyrics is aged now. A sage found. How do I stay bound? Young with a face frown. I'm older with grace. On my shoulders go plates. I went from headaches, but now on my head is where they place crowns. Caution when walking on my stage with your sacred grounds.
Anywhere our feet touch become sacred grounds. See us walking over clouds wearing flaming crowns. If you ain't speaking with love, it's just a waste of sound. Sacred ground, laid it down, builders of the ancient mounds. Anywhere our feet touch become sacred ground. See us walking over clouds wearing flaming crowns. If you ain't speaking with love, it's just a waste of sound. Sacred ground, laid it down, builders of the ancient mounds. Lips of death kissed me and it died right before me. See, they say the Grim Reaper took his eyes when he saw me free. They need me like breath, though they cried and ignored me. So ironic, knew I was the most high as a shorty. Trees tried to record me in their rings, years of extra Lakers. Why y'all don't see that every tree's a stack of record players? Nectar mayor, nexus maker, killers on our best behavior. They say your next friend could also be your next betrayer. Magic trick, 3 eyes that saw me in half. I'm illustrating, brilliant, raving, spoken, taught me the math. Now it's all I see, thought I'd be a seraphim that shared honeydew, melanin with the Z hive that's swarming me. They rhyme and it's boring me to dime. Be the glory, he's Allah's favorite suit. I arrived when he wore me, God. Body in the cleaners, had a stellium in Virgo. Kid adrenochrome sippers, melatonin into Merlot. Flying over New Jeru, I saw a giant priest rhyming on beats in a circle playing chess with all the boroughs. I said I got next, sat on Bredican dropping words, snow like ashes. Seraphis, Cabraxis, we played some worlds ago. I reached my jersey pieces from Monopoly and AC. Computer hacked the saxophone, called the music to play me. To learn your pattern, son, your KP. Where should I move my next? Word horse, jumpkin' JC, or is that move smart? I sparked the LEO with ideas to build a new art. The move is nights falling, cause his curtains made the room dark. I'm serving turns of blows that leveled the playing field. From owners to renting, the kingdom will never kneel. From Brooklyn to guillotine neck, protect your shoulder mug. Upon his head he wore a T-set. I spit a soldier's blood, the mad Maga had to the dagger is still liquid. Watch it on Camden in slow motion, it's still missing. The Knights of Elves cut off their legs and still kick the globe back to the subconscious mind where it existed. Bishop coming at an angle but witty, maybe he missed it. Spot the rook coming trying to take the Queen Elizabeth. Swept the pieces off the glass roof, watch her the slow breaking ozone layers. Once connected to the turbo deep, they trying to figure out How I cut them with a steel sword. And though I danced across the ceiling, they were still floored. Skilled at war, though I became human, I was still the Lord. Right until my name became huger than a billboard. I almost cracked the firmament, yeah, with just the surface below. While I was in the sky, breakdancing as the earth was rotating in the circle, I created an inferno. My breath across the glass wrote my name into the words glow. Head spinning on the ceiling like iguanas, it's the lizard ill. Nothing ever happened, if it's all a dream, it isn't real. Pictures in your image real, lightning that I get to wheel. Grip the wheel, whip a pill, bananas when I drove off. Grasping with the spoke speak, magic on the throne seat. I'm faster like I don't eat, magic when our souls cross. Say the future limits you, traveling with no peak. Hide and seek the time I sneak back again, but don't peek. I saw myself counting on the map again, a stone sheik. For many kings vanished, cause their character was so weak. Collab with God until we slay the dragon on its own beat. Out the lid, on this pot they battling with no heat. Without my hands I caught a glimpse, then married it with cold feet. I walked on thin ice and melted half until there's no sheet. The Matrix figure skater, one in battling, you're hopefully the greatest figure skater. To the math magician, don't cheat. But what if no one can see us? No squares to hold and keep us. No board and no chess box, just astronosis Jesus. We just played each other's music, it controls the pieces. Humans on the sidewalk, squares, planet psychokinesis. Every move connects fate and empty heads and neck weight. Santos and priests in Australia, we talk to plant ghosts. Created
Like money together. Now that's a checkmate.
made the devil eat his heart out from off his breastplate.
Howdy.
Howdy doody.
Howdy doody. Duty fine. Yeah. You want to see some pictures?
Definitely.
Let's see.
After you tell me what you thought, what did you think of the music? What did you think of the song?
That you're just playing?
Yeah.
I was just moving to it right behind my chair. I was just like sitting there feeling it, man. Yeah. I was thinking maybe even if he catches me, big deal. He'll see I'm grooving. I was just sitting there going, yeah, man, I'm feeling it. That was nice. It was very nice. And what is that piece? I heard.
Yeah, that was Killah Priest.
Yeah, I figured.
You know, on both tracks, and the other artist is Kai Zodiac. So
I was moving to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that with these. That was.
So you got some pictures to show.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, this is the introduction page. It's Christy Turlington. You see how beautiful she is?
Yeah.
You see this little girl, man. And that's the introduction. You know, you want me to read the introduction to you? Or is that too much?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I just wrote at the end.
Great.
Yeah, I just wrote at the end that I write the way I speak with the accent of a New Yorker from Brooklyn.
Right.
I speak in the vulgar dialect, meaning of the street, in every sense of the word. From the neighborhood.
This book is a ride. I just want to tell the people for my advanced reading in the space, like this book is a jewel. It's a gem. It's
Thank you.
so many stories. It's so many stories interwoven into your story. So it's not just profiling
Right.
these different people that you work with. You're telling your story, and they're not main characters. They're extras in your story. Right. So it's a blessing along the way. So if they wanted to know who you are, what you did, if they read that book, they'll get a ride of their life. They're like, there's points where I'm like, no freaking way. This is blah blah blah. I was like, oh, I saw this in the Bronx Tale. Oh, I saw this in Goodfellas, right? The writing vernacular this is your lived experience, right? But I'm like, wait a minute, this is the Godfather over here. And then a little bit of this, like, oh, that's Prixie's honor. So it's like, a whole kind of light behind the lens, right?
Right.
So you might look at the people you captured and said, no way, but you captured them. So there's a story with you. There's a story behind the scenes. There's a story that nobody knows. They only know the photographs. Maybe,
Right.
Again, we went to a 35-year-old may not know the world before their time, and they're 35. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, all of this time of America, but then now the time of the world happening at the same time. So, they said picture is worth 1,000 words. That's what they used to say. Now it's worth 6 words. But if you go back in time now, you get a chance to see a time before your existence, right? This is why history becomes important. So when they want to tell you about a subject, they take you back to the founders. They take you back to, its proposed origin, right or wrong. But you have to walk that path. You have to know the people who did this before you. You have to know some sort of connection in regards to the story. And
History.
this book, right, highlights people that are ultra famous now, but you met them before the ultra famous, but you saw a thing in them that immortalized them. So you're sharing your story in connection with them that the world may not even know. Like, who would know that, okay, because you came early,
right?
You met Prince and you were done before the guy even got there, or, whomever the client is, right? So because you were there early, and it was something that you don't normally do, but it's like, all right, something in me, there's some intuitive gut sort of feeling, and you went with it, you were obedient, and you went over there, and Princess walks in, bam, I guess I'll leave. It's like, wait a minute, did this just happen? Like, did it really just happen? Did I really just take pictures of Prince? Like, all right, so you got Polaroids and proof. And then the adaptations over time with all of the equipment, to go from one lens, and I guess I'll ask you about that, to go from one lens to all of these other things that happen now, right? All of the stuff that you had to have back in the beginning of your journey to now,
right?
All of these things, like everybody's got a phone now, so everybody is a photographer, quote unquote, right? Or some sort of video, whatever the case may be. These tools that you have. But the education that went along with the tools is not something that people can go to a classroom and learn.
No, never.
Right. So, that journey, this book is a journey, it's a history lesson, but it truly, in its essence, to me, it's a cinematic film that you can read.
Yeah.
So going through my head, in my wildest imagination, I'm picturing it as I read it.
Right.
So you take the reader out of the words off the page and into the life. They're thrusted into the time-space continuum of your mind via these stories.
Right.
It's like, all right, so whether we're in Rome or, I met this guy on the bridge, I had to get over here. Like there's so many, there's the sights, there's the sounds. So when you were, alluding to the people saying, okay, whose backyard and who lived next door and blah, blah, blah. It's like they're adding a documentary sort of element to the things. You just like, this is what I remember. So now they're bringing this thing. So I want to see it come alive.
Yeah.
So if y'all get the book, it comes alive for you.
Yeah.
It teleports you to any place in the time-space continuum where it happened, the actual events.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, you're there. So that's my thoughts, as far as the book goes.
Well, that means I connected with you. So that makes me very happy to know that, And history, like you said, is like the foundations for everything. You're going to build a house, you need a strong foundation to have a strong house. And our foundation is history. You know, and I've learned how to become an artist through reading about other artists from 50 years ago to 500 to 1,000 years ago. You know, ultimately, artists were originally painting on cave walls. They were not painting landscapes. They were painting prayers for the gods to see. In the hunt to feed and survive, and a prayer to the animal to asking forgiveness. And so they worship that animal also in spirit. And so they communicated in pictures to the gods, and they drew those pictures on the cave walls. And so then there were shamans. Then there were painters or sculptors, and they still were shamans. Not all of them, but I see artists as communicators between here and the invisible world, you know. Well, a certain type of art, because, you know, like music, there's various categories. But there's definitely something to the artist as a priest. You know, it's a visual communication between here and now to the invisible forces that exist all around us that we can't see because we're limited in our human beings. You know, we have a limited scope of vision. We can't see the X-rays going around, the gamma rays, the radio waves. We don't see them, but they're all around us. And I think it's the same with spirits, you know. And if you're able to touch base with your inner self, you know, alone you can pick that up, you know, and then you transcribe it, you translate it into your art, and then you're communicating a truth between yourself and the invisible. You know, that's how you connect. So that's how I worship it, you know, through art.
So for the people who take the journey and make the investment, you know, what's a thing or two you want them to take away from your life's work via this book?
Well, I don't want anything. I'd like that they get to perceive what it means to become and be an artist, and yet not think of the end game, but the process of becoming an artist, but becoming a person, becoming a man, you know. And usually every philosophy, every philosopher, every guru, every shaman will tell you that the journey is painful, but that pain is what forces you and allows you to go deeper than you normally would. Because it's only been in pain that I've learned this deeper wisdom, let's say, this deeper perception of my life and the world and just being. It's through pain, struggle, and getting up from it. You're allowed to let go. You're allowed to stay on the ground for a little while. You're allowed to heal, but then you got to get up again, because it comes from your passion. It comes from your inner need to express yourself. Because if you don't do it as an artist, if you don't express yourself in any manner, whether you write, dance, or whatever, you're most likely, if you have that spirit, you're most likely going to destroy yourself. You know, because that being, the artistic being, is the two opposites of love and hate, of creation and destruction. And if you're not doing one, you're doing the other, usually. Different extremes, different measures. But if I'm well, if I weren't able to do what I do, I I would have been holding up drugstores when I was 19. You know what I mean? Uh, I would have been, and I've had my problems with drugs because I was at the saddest time in my life because I wasn't creating what I needed to spiritually grow with. I was a slave to commerce because once you get there, you got to stay rolling. You get off that wheel for a couple of years, you're already done. You're old news. And so you got to fake it sometimes. And even faking it is painful. And so in many ways, I jokingly say that the house burnt down, but I was standing there with the empty can of gasoline and the matches in my hand because I burnt it down. Because I wasn't doing what my spirit, my soul knew I needed to do to find the light.
That's what Brad Pitt said in Norton in Fight Club. That's why I blew up your condo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I blew up my own.
He blew up his own condo essentially, right? So he got off the hamster wheel and went off.
Fucked up big time.
Right? He finds himself in the freedom and
Right.
not in
Yeah.
the space of servitude.
I remember that funny give and take between John Travolta and God in Pulp Fiction. Oh my God, how can I forget?
Samuel Jackson.
Thank you, Samuel Jackson. How could I forget that? When Samuel Jackson said, "I'm gonna walk the earth like Cain," and John Travolta was like, "You mean you're gonna be a bum?"
Bum. There's a word for that, Jules.
You're gonna be a bum. And then he said something from the book of something or other, the gospel or whatever, and
Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Who was it that said it? Matthew or somebody like that?
It was he's quoting this passage from the Bible, and
Right.
it's not verbatim, but
Right.
he quoted it, and he said, "I just started up till now,"
Right.
because he has that moment, right? He has
Yeah.
the moment up till now. If he just thought it was something dope before he pulled the trigger on somebody,
Right, yeah.
trigger man, right? So
Right.
he's talking about it to these guys who's actually robbing the place, the guy and the girl, right?
Yeah.
And it was like he said, normally you two cats would be dead as fried chicken, right? So he said, you happen to catch me at this time. I'm paraphrasing. So he's telling them, I'm giving you this life that he had. I'm giving you this life. I'm walking away from this life, and it saves his life. It saves his life.
Yeah.
In essence, John Travolta is calling him a bum, and that's the reason. The reason the job that he's doing cost him his life.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. From the heroin to he left this beautiful, machine gun on the table of this guy's house, and he went to take a dump in the guy's house, right? So his carelessness, right, but his ability to be able to be jarring in this kind of way is the reason why he gets taken out. But Jules is like, all right, this was my last job. I'm out of here. But they tell the story in the Tarantino sort of way. So he's telling these people that I'm giving you this money so I don't have to take your life.
Right.
So he's like, the truth is you're the weak, and I'm the tyranny of evil men. But I'm trying. We call him Ringo to be the shepherd. So he's telling them, like, the tyranny of evil men is me. Right? He's telling them that the tyranny of evil men, the evil men don't go do the dirty work.
Right.
I go do the dirty work.
Right.
So
Right.
he's like, but I'm trying, Ringo, real hard to be the shepherd. I know that this is what I did, but this is not what I want to do.
Right.
So
Right.
now I got a different calling on my life, and I'm basically walking away from it.
Yeah.
So
Huh. That was
it
it.
was
It's a
very
funny
interesting
analogy.
dichotomy that he's telling
Yeah,
me.
it's a funny analogy. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been there.
So basically, you're going to be your bum, like the short-sightedness to it. Like this is a guy that you respect as a professional, and you know what he's capable of doing, and he's telling you he's having this metanoia, right? This 180-degree shift of thought, right?
Yeah.
So he's looking. He's like, you're sitting here. He's like, did you just come up with like he's trying to. This guy is like, he's like, did you like when did you come up with this? I was sitting here. I was eating this bacon, and it just came to me.
Yeah.
I had what they call an epiphany.
Epiphany. Yeah.
Yeah. So
A moment of light.
like he had that space, right? So that ability to have that metanoia, what they called in the Greek, 180 degrees
Mm-hmm.
shift in thought. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like repentance, right? So
Yeah.
he has an opportunity to make a better decision, and that decision saved his life. And he warned the other guy, and he's like, whatever, and he ultimately gets taken out because of it.
Right.
Yeah, very interesting.
All right. So, how's this going? How long have you been doing this podcast? How many years?
Well, this is Killah Priest's platform. So he's been here for I believe 5 or 6 years now.
Wow, that's great.
And I've been around intermittently, but I've been doing this recently, but with John as a collaboration. So it's a couple of iterations of this segment of the show.
Right. Cool.
A different opportunity to be able to link and share the space. But interesting minds like yourself. So we've been doing this partnership.
And
so
they should know that who John is. He's a painter. He's an artist friend of ours.
Of course they know. Everybody knows that. John's like Norm over here.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. John. So John Newsom is like Norm.
So is this a collaboration with John?
Yes.
Oh, great. Wonderful. I heard you had Mitch Horowitz on.
Yeah.
I love his books. Yeah.
He's an amazing mind.
Yeah. Lives in Brooklyn.
Hey.
Okay, man. Good. So we covered a lot. Sounds
Definitely.
good. Yeah.
So we can wrap it up.
All right.
Where will the book be available for people to actually purchase?
The publisher has a site the publisher's called Blackstone Publishing. Google them. You can get books from them or Amazon, whatever is easier. But they ship it to you, and you'll have it in a day. I'm still trying to find out because it only released yesterday. I'm trying to find out what bookstores it's in. I'm sure it's Barnes and Noble and places like that, but I'm still trying to get more specific information. They'll tell me tomorrow. But just look up Blackstone Publishing, and they'll let you know everything. Everybody's on their phones Googling anyway, so you might as well.
Right.
Easy going, yeah. But it was a pleasure talking to you again, and I want to thank you. Yeah.
I definitely will see you soon.
All right, brother. I love you.
Love you too. Have a great one.
You too, man. Now I got to figure out how to turn this off because I'm still a caveman.
Yeah, I got you.
You got me?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, man.
I gotta date with summer. She said Leos have egos, but make great lovers. That's all that she knows. Ocean, white seagulls, sky turns purple, Virgo. On the sand with Merlot, her clothes off. Her skin so soft, it turned cold, winds from the north. Beneath the purple spinning sky. Let me tell you about my twin, Jim and I. We were wet from the waves till our linen dried. Then the sun started to fade, then in tides. It's all love, but I hate when women lie. She said she was just my summer fling. Wait till spring, she'll come again. She kissed me gently, I rubbed the winter hair. White as snow, we said cheers to our New Year's. Right in flows, the night is cold. Come here, put this jacket on. My dear, took some tongue cat, Ollie, and horny goat Capricorn. It's getting late after dawn, let's make some passion porn. She said, wait, let me score them till the autumn. It's like a lake when we falling. Brown, orange, sound of birds calling. Don't beat around the bush, get to the point, Taurus. Or our envy poison. Left us a corpse in the cold. Scorpio, coffee in the loft with some weed rolled. A kilo, fish scales, Pisces. Summer of love, sheer bliss. Reminisce, kiss and tell. Ocean, boat sails, big whales. Times I miss, she said, this is the season, let's take a picture. Aquarius, pouring out a heart. Take a chariot like a cherry pick. Seasons, morning till it's dark, like Sophia the Caesar. She said I should never leave her. Thoughts are laying on her heavy. Libra, you be my angel, I'll be your leader. She looked back at me, don't be a jackass, Sag. Good thinking why you always stay mad. That's why we always bump heads. Aries, I used to drill it like a ram. Relationship got cancer. Sideways, held on things like a crab, especially our past. But seasons are our destiny's last. Forever November 22, I stick a gum, pennies and glue. Loafers on sofas with you. Mocha, posters of us too. Seasons. Summer, winter, spring, fall. Seasons. All seasons. I love the seasons. The seasons. The seasons while we're here. The seasons while we're here. Seasons.
Yo, colleagues, equilibrium that master the gun style. My cell phone's own, quarter past for the sundown. But Aries answer saying he'll be back from a gun trial. Caught shooting the breeze in the back is the sunchild. Libra, that's the phone to the side, but mine Jupiter. Capricorn answer with one ring to rule them all. Sun King Aquarius change can make you new it all. Taurus are the spokes in the wheel, they know who to call. Superman, rise to the occasion when the humans spoil a lonely child. Bitter sand castles with the hands of time. Relax, meditate, stay home like the cancer sign. Gemini 12, imagine I'm Peter Pan and mom, the pitter pattern of the brain drop rings of the grand design. Phantom of the amber shrine, Virgo things you can't combine, but it makes the plans align. Leo under the camera time, up the stage I look up at the stars like they're fans of mine. Scorpio found treasures he ain't seeking, never plan to find. Fish up his footprints in the annals of the sands of time. Pisces footprints, 12 inches is a ruler. 12 signs, the ecliptic is a jeweler. Sag cross the spirit river in the physical maneuver. Ask the martini, take a sip of the Kaluba. Godcraft coming hoppers to the ship is our maneuver. The 4 seasons, I call them the 4 seas. 7 in the center, it calls me the 4 C's. I'm leaving bars behind like I walk through the doors free. So much self-esteem, I can walk through the walls, see? Message in the numbers, I met her in the summer. Hit after hit, I never guessed I was a drummer. Wrestled the Leviathan, my vessel is the lion's den. Moby Dictionary made the steppers out of hydra skin. I sat back, just watched the time spindler. Zodiac Goldie, Optimus Prime Minister who climbed the sky ladder to rocket for my temperature. And once I reached the pinnacle, I got the perfect view. Sometimes I'm not even sure if I'm on earth with you. Be prepared when the seasons come. 4 creatures, 4 wheels that complete the one. 12 signs on the road, what will we become? In a race against time, who can beat the sun? Be prepared when the seasons come. 4 creatures, 4 wheels that complete the one. 12 signs on the road, what will we become? In a race against time, who can beat the sun?
Amazing show. I saw Savage Souls up in here. Savage Souls, get at me on Instagram. I definitely want to book you for an interview up here. Your music submission was phenomenal. Shout out to our guest for today on Royal Priesthood Wednesdays, Sante D'Orazio, author, master photographer, artist, sage. You know, thankful to John Newsom. John Newsom will be here with us next Royal Priesthood Wednesday doing a recap, so we get the chance to go back through some of the favorite moments, some of the guests that we had recently, and share some of the things that we're working on together. So Norm will be here, right? So if you're here next week, we'll get a chance to hear from John, and I'm gonna contact Reborn and Revisit to see if he'll be able to be in the building as well. This ecosystem, as John loves to call it, it works together collaboratively. Peace, Jody. Hope you're feeling better. Peace to the family, man. I saw a comment earlier while we were doing the interview, and I'm not a person who interacts with the chat during the interview. The interview is, a guest of honor for me, so I give them what they do. I know there's some people that do that throughout the show, but I want to give the guests their honor and what they do. And for a man of his caliber, who's accomplished a lot in his life, you want to be able to give that credence. A lot of people are still here. He's here. He gave an offering. He basically gave his life and put it in a book. And walked us through a journey of his life and his lived experiences behind the camera. So you want to kind of you want to give people their due. You give people their due. You want to give them an opportunity to share their stories. I love a good story. I'm a story seeker. Story seeker and the storyteller. So it's a beautiful opportunity whenever I get to hear a great story. And it's even better when we hear it from the person themselves. I could read the book and sort of infer, but when you can get a first-hand account, your story is that important. Everybody's story. If you were on and you were a guest, you would have my full attention because I want to hear the story. Your story is important. Everybody who's listening, everybody who's tuned in, everybody who has been following Priest over the years, even if you just got hip yesterday, your story is important. So he writes what he writes and he channels, and the way that he channels to be able to convey the stories of the people or the animals or the places or the time period in history that can't speak for himself right now. He gave you the story of the butterfly. He gave you the story of the ant. He gave you the story of King Tyree. You understand what I'm saying? So like all of these places in regards to that, like he took us to grandmother's land. There's so many things in his discography where he gives the credence to the subject or the concept. And he gives it life. And he tells the story in the most righteous and authentic manner. That's the best thing that you could do. I think last week or so, I was on, I think we talked about one of the best things you could do with an opportunity is to prepare for it. That's the best ode and credence that you could give that opportunity. That's a blessing in your life, is to be prepared for it. You prepare for the opportunity. So yeah, your story is important. Find a way to tell your story in a way that you love and share it with the world. That via your gifts, via your talents, via your skill sets. And this is a place that showcases that. So like tomorrow and Sunday, the song promotion segment, this is what AD does. AD gives you an opportunity to tell your story in that way. and then provide you constructive criticism on the story that you told, whether it's a beat, whether it's a rhyme, whether it's beats, rhymes, and life. So this platform was created for people to be able to share their story in that way. And then an addendum is you can share your art with the master artist. You know, hip hop's Ein Sof, the Alpha and Omega, Killah Priest, and he receives it, and he's worked with so many people. So definitely a great platform, and I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored for the opportunity to collaborate and associate produce this segment. For Priest putting their trust in me to be able to do this, on a weekly basis. So, very, 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 very interesting. That's nice. Look back at it again. Speaking of Miami and the show, I still have these t-shirts. Like, this is for my platform. I don't know if you can see it. Here we go. 10-year anniversary, Cypherversary. I saw Killah Priest perform. I saw solo gems on the stage. This is everybody that was at that concert in some capacity. So they're still available. Should do something like that. Commemorative edition. So if you're interested, get at me. If you want to purchase it, you gotta hit me up on Instagram at now357 or DudeKnowledgeRadio@gmail. This has it spelled right here. DudeKnowledgeRadio@gmail. And we can work something out so you can get these. I have about 40 of them left. So if you're interested, let me know. And ship it to you anywhere in the world. Okay? Hop on a rocket, take it. Hop on that rocket to Nebula, to the planet of the gods if necessary. So definitely great. So I'm gonna do what I do best. Make sure y'all go to www.killahpriest.tv and get Abraxas 2. Stream Abraxas 2. Shout out to Dave Flores. I saw that dynamic video you did. I appreciated it. I appreciated that you mentioned me. But I also appreciate you wearing the merch. As you're talking about this album, Abraxas 2 is a phenomenal album. Abraxas, versus Abraxas, I was like, oh, this is the magnum opus. And then Abraxas 2 comes in, I'm like, man, it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. As the saga continues, you get to see this. So, again, we are KP's digital street team. So, get the album, stream the album, run the streams up, get the vinyl, have it as a collector's item, get the merchandise, and then film yourself with the merch, film yourself listening to the music. So this is you get a chance to see it in motion, and you get to be a part of the history books in that way. So it's a constant work, and I'm sure they're working on albums right now still, right? So it's more to come. Celestial Grammar, so many other albums, so much music. The flow that he's in with writing and recording, all of the things that he does, is phenomenal to see. So we can do our part. We can get the CD, we can get the vinyl, we can get the merch. And not only we can get the CD, the vinyl, and the merch, but we can propagate it. We can talk about it if you love it, right? One of the things I was talking about, if your top 5 dead or alive MC doesn't want you to be the best version of yourself, you should rethink it. You should rethink that list because you're consuming that music. And if it's not using you to elevate, to transcend, to love, to build, then what are you listening to? What are you listening to? So, if you're here because you love Priest and you love his music and it moves you, allow it to move you and use you in a manner that you propagate, that you promote, that you put your loved ones on. Because he loves us. So let's be reciprocal. Let's be reciprocal for how we're doing and how we move in regards to what we represent and who we represent. So he needs our support in all of these ways. So get the reels. You heard AD said you send them in and they'll play them on the Podcraft. So let's see how creative we could be for one who's so creative for us. You got a song promotion segment. We got these albums out. We got this merchandise out. We got a discography that's unmatched. So let's pour back in. Let's continue to inspire Priest to continue to create. There's nothing like you created something and someone got what you created. You created it. And somebody else saw it and it's like, ah. In Brother's Letter, Priest said, they said songs like From Then Till Now got them from then to now. So if you had a Killah Priest moment, you can share it. You can share it. If you had a Killah Priest moment with Abraxas or Abraxas 2 or any of the discography, you can share it. You can talk about it. You can share with the world. You can share how his story impacted your story. So let's be intentional about what we share, what we promote, and what we support. So it's interesting. Continue to create, continue to be great, continue to inspire. Tune in tomorrow for the regular scheduled Podcraft. Until then, wear more Killah Priest, play more Killah Priest, and if you got that tea, drink more Killah Priest. All right? Peace.
The Painter, Brother's Letter. I should cut my ear off like Van Gogh. Stop performing at the Klan shows. Watch myself from the audience. Play piano with lit candles. I mean, I'll still perform, but the thrill is gone. I don't feel as strong, maybe cause the will is torn. I clutch in the ball cause I'm sick to my gut. Then I brushed off the dust, stood up like I was touched by healing palms. I picked up my shield and 3 rocks as I'm hearing psalms. Know ye not that ye are gods? And I've been blocked by bouncers, overlooked by the announcers. I'm in the stand with the fans, which told me many of my album was like a counselor. They said songs like Then From Now got them from then to now. Even deja vu, they said the old man was you in a reoccurring nightmare where you kept coming back around. I took a picture with him Then he showed me a picture of his daughter in a cap and gown. He said he put her through college because your words stood up for knowledge. Said, to be honest, you like a prophet. I said, stop it. He said, what made you right before quarantine take us to Nebula in a rocket? I said, it was just my journey to the planet of gods, a divine intervention. Just a mantra, I said, for the monsters in my head. Kept reliving, but we true and living. Like 3 supermen did. He said, who you kidding? That was a beautiful listening. Clan came on and music was hitting. They did fourth chamber while I talked to strangers about his divorce and child support papers. Got it restrained in court for his anger. On the cross cause of haters. As Ghost finish up with the black suede while he dawn. They look around, I'm not on. They search backstage and I'm gone. March finish the set, play the next song. Play the next. Nobody would remember. He hardly was a member. But the gods was his event.
Freak out, yo!
Yeah, ma. Ma, say what up.
Huh?
Say what up.
Say what?
Say what's up. Ma, you look like grandma.
Oh, you looking at me now?
Play more, Killer Priest. Play more, Killer Priest, why don't you? Play more, Killer Priest. Play more, Killer Priest, why don't you? Play more, Killer Priest. Play more, Killer Priest, go ahead. Play more, Killer Priest, go ahead. Play more, Killer Priest. She had me caught in the whirlwind. Me and my girlfriend, 86 in the flick with Sherlin. An ancient Berlin, I was known as Merlin, a magician, musician, stars unveiling. I'm Sheikh Antioch upon the Cheops. Y'all look lost like the books of Enoch. I push my rug, good cushion, teapots. Let her play chess, less stress as weed crops. If you could love me more, free to soar, see it all, explore. No more keys to my door. Go ahead, be a whore, and I'm your cheating dog. You tell your moms and your friends you adore. I'm so immature. We both sins, hope this end and fall. Winter winds, now you cringe when I call. And we both pretend to win when we draw. Attention.
Couldn't love you more. Your time was running out.
Yeah, the stoic poet, riding the clouded horse from the Northern Army, holding the book of the dead that showed Newton Gad. The horse's hooves pounded on the four winds godly. Y'all fell in love with Beelzebub, the Babylonian king head held in blood. Which rapper who won it? It's torment. I open my book of rhymes like a coffin. A big raven come out, it's gonna be horrid to the chorus. My 2 blades re-enter the forest. I draw a picture of an eye, just circle it with Horus. You see the name priest, the missionary of the Macavita Melchizedek, the angel avenger, retells the death. My grammar's like heaven's hammer. I'll shove your souls into hell's stove. I'm the goat with 7 antlers. I'll make your brain fit inside your skull. It's all written inside my Johnny Pump scrolls. Fire hydrant writing, the L of the stairwells. And they're gonna know. They all gonna know. They all gonna know. Killer Priest is the world. All gonna know. All gonna know. Killer Priest is the world. Show. Open the portals. Room 5. I know they're thinking priest. 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 Thinking the priest. Thinking the priest. They more to the priest. More to the priest. More to the priest.
Like 2 black people, but they're very, very black. And one was near the spaceship, and one was a bit forward. It was like very, very bright. And I thought,
that's true, I know where you want to be. Here in this moment, master of his craft and crowned. The 5th room, the saga. The sub-Saharans where we used to be. Builders of pyramids in Egypt. The black ground in the Levant. I know you hear the stories again and again about how we was gods way back when. After the Homo genus came a kingship, a queen list that wore the winged disc. African land of rulers that advanced to Sumer. The richest man was Mansa Musa. Then they went to transatlantic cruiser. Kings from Benin, low self-esteem, the future. They poked their head with syringes cause they wore fringes. Borders of blue to slaughter the. Rise up young kings, rise up young queens. The future needs you. It's about all of us. This is our exodus. Play more, Killer Priest. Play more, Killer Priest. Play more, Killer Priest. Play more, Killer Priest. Da 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 da. It's been a minute. Da 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 da. Room 5. Room 5. Room 5. Moon high. Yeah. My fingers slipped from Solomon's grip. I was swallowed into a bottomless pit, going down through the rocks from a cliff. Though the darkness wasn't the worst of it, as the curses eclipsed, I saw spots in the gothic were lit, going down the throat of black smoke, into a moat that covered my face and my back like a coat. I'm in his bowels with owls, and men that wrapped their head with towels, and spoke the Talmud, the owl school loud too. I'm in his guts, I see skeletal forms, endless tusks, the winds are rough, a gust bends me up. My view is now in the spiral, confused as I go up in the cycle, circular, 6 dimensions, my body light up. I'm a Merkaba, positive, negative in my messages. I thought the worst occurred. Soon as I lay the verse in the beat, it becomes a 12-person word. I risen from the beast's digestive system. I resurrect with wisdom. When I connect with rhythm, I see Solomon hands appearing closer as I reach, coming from debris with composure. Behind me, looks like debris from explosives on planets that nova. That's when I got the grip, he pulled me over. As he pulled, he slipped, my hand still in his grip. He tumbled to the edge of the canyon, his body dipped. I said, I got you, hold on. We both pulling so strong. Then he tapped me on the back of my shoulder, asked me what's wrong, asked me why I'm leaning over the canyon. I look again, I'm holding on my other hand like a companion. I said, wait, something not right. It went left, let's get this straight. As he curved the conversation, it could drive you to a place. I backed up shop, bouncing in my mind. A lie sends you mistakes. Food for thought, read it on the plate. Since Adam, Eve, and the snake, evil deeds inflated like a cake. Superstition, religion, became a business. Truth is fiction, changed from old, new edition. New offenders, new to prison. Sign up to the system, line up, choose a witness. We lose due to fitness, we chew with a vengeance. No clue for the sickness, cold flu so suspicious. Mom brew hibiscus, a song that she knew a stew or twisted citrus. Esau's the author of my free fall of torture. Evils and horror, eagles guard the borders. Energy has a sequel, cerebral's getting stronger. The mummified hands trying to grab me. The son of I am, jagged stone streaming past me. Abraxas sweet as Simha Paroma. Galaxy above my head, holding my diploma. Graduated, not encapsulated, a lot infatuated with my greatness. Most of y'all favorites, I keep it basic.
Aroma, Cerebus Abraxas. The word slow motion falling down side up. I read it backwards. The sea becomes a skyfish freeze, turning to blackbirds. Trouble is afoot with no ledge like Bishop's last words. Free fall until he crashed. Now they yelling free falling at an ankle. Need the cash, need the dough. See below, secret wisdom in the class nerd. Who spilled his juice crucible. Visions of the past stirred. Alice's paralysis. I want Atlantic fast to blur from fire above the phallus. Niggas cured, now that occurred. Reflections coming back like who was fishing for a glass turd. Seeing through the shift is so different, it was absurd. Trust my gut feeling as I'm hearing what my abs heard. The band was playing spinal chords, in them with a crab served. Glasses full of passwords, wasn't in use tubes. Has been plan on coming up to get new views. Falling out the sky while I discovered the blues clues. Colors and blue hues while touching the new views that shot the breeze with prophecies for scuffing his new shoes. It's magic how they all became ducks from this fused blue. It's hypnostic like a cup full of blue booze. They're hiding bars inside my bars, I drug up they boo-boos. The exes quickly ghosted them, bolted like loose screws. Got mad and shot each other like a couple of news crews. Last memory, he didn't get the password. I stuck in the who's who, good luck on the yuzu. Gemini that got them both in trouble like you two. Went from the esophagus, sent to the Moroccan trust. Hippos with colossal tusk, told me what it's all about. The sunken place with me, myself, and ISIS had to fall it out. Black Panther said the Jaguars right, while they inner child asking me if hat or bites. Watch as I develop. Hands in time lost their grip on watches I that fell up. Watching as the kings collapse. Eternal voice of life is a bitch with no wings attached. He died before he let a bungee jump with no strings attached. Rings I snatched, fire from the gods in a thinking match. The universe threw me ideas I didn't think to catch. The tallest towers turned into dust. The fiends think it's cracked. The bricks become cities in the sky. I brought the kingdom back, designed a new treaty with the devil with a handshake. Flip the planet right side up like it's a pancake. Children rise from underground holes, receive the mandrake. Control me falling up in slow motion as I steer the crowd toward the sun manifest. Standing on the cirrus cloud, praising stride of Jesus. They was calling, I could hear it loud. I won't falter. Nah, I won't falter. Scripted in the tomb, read the message in the water. The stars you thought were rising up, but dying what? Whole time I thought that I was falling, really I was flying up. Everybody screwing each other to get the tightest nut. T-I-T-A-N, y'all better tighten up and move this Jenga piece that was held in the feet. So society collapsed on itself in the week. Revealed the secrets that were burned on the selfish elite. Allegations shook the planet till they fell from their seats. Caused an earthquake, the killer priest felt and released as he slipped into the darkness to the essence of the beast and turned it into beauty. Child of destiny, police now. Worry took his piece out the game, uncaught the fall guy. Started to fall apart just like a Libra, telling tall lies. I never fell for it, saw the answers in this small lies. The camera said it's all lies. Candles, they was all high. But as the felons fell in the trap, the righteous all fly. For every God deed, I gained a feather to adorn my wings. The beat was kicking, arms flying. When I talk, I swing punchlines, spit the chemtrails. And when I got to the bottom of the seasons, to get even, I'm now stalking spring. Yes, yo, it all started on a silent night. Watching old footage tapes spinning back when beats of y'all skipping like a hot delights. He trying to fight, he hiding like pillow rays. Why you trying to swing it while I'm trying to like this Indo haze? Kimbo blade, slice of an essential page of life, an instrumental stage. He'd overwrite to catch the ball game. He had the time to say, car crash in memory lane. She's switching dialect with mad, she go the street from classy. When we laying upstairs, don't even ask me. You smirking car passing outside, the beat was nasty, but it's sweet like taffy. On the precipice of making up, felt a slight tremor, had the edifice shaking up, accompanied by 3 loud bangs. Now they racing upstairs, unprepared to see if the baby's waking up to their surprises, and they're levitating his trucks while he floating in midair with arms placing the crux on this one side of his room where it was raining too much as dark clouds hugged the ceiling. Thunder rolled from his soul, the sound was unappealing. They hit the ground kneeling close enough to pick their jaw off the floor. Profound feeling, they both stopped so amazed that to the left his toy train is dropped on the train tracks. Too shocked to explain that. If every month's a circle, he done ran about 8 laps. His soul was navigating his plane without a maze map. The air was spiral circle, his crown without a wave caps. He rose and tried to grab him real slow. You'll always stay back. It's when they heard her from outside. It's just a stray cat. He giggled, yawned, and everything fell. He just lay flat. Rolled his mother, sang him to sleep. I need a late snack. Wheels turning in his cranium too fast. Orange juice with pulp, he poured it straight in a huge glass. They hit up they booze stash. The liquor was too brass. He's really no drinker. Made exception for this. As she joined in the kitchen, had their heads in a twist. What's it mean? Cut the scene. We ain't ready for this. So they sat and watched the movie, ate a Mexican dish. As he reached and grabbed the phone that was next to his fist, caught his main man Johnny. They still cool. The thoughts inside his brain ran. Finally ring ring. That's a native course. Wiping the tomato sauce from off his beard before his ear was hit with the grenade he tossed. Switching back to pacing forth, meditating, facing off, incense burning, made him cough, and many questions pondered while he sits in the stool. Will he electrocute somebody if he swims in the pool? With his power, will he listen when we give him the rules? Should we send him to school? What's his energy fuel? It is what the master meant then about the beauty that he could bring to the world by Johnny yapping over needless things like using them for battery jumps. And no one needs a string retrieving rings from out of the drain below the ether spring for moving heavy things. You can charge a levitation fee. I regret calling you, he thought, but said okay, I see. Let him talk while he daydreaming about things that came to be. Prophetic vision series made to see that made him flee. Daughter, he was too afraid to open, hid away the key. But that brought him to a flashback. The room turned dim in every corner of it abstract. The night he got the glow, his senses heightened like a jam-packed city getting ransacked. Critters in the sand trap. Hourglass he toasted on the roof above the land tap. Let the rhythm hit him if a villain wants the man's mask golden glow. Folks below shivered who be glanced at remain anonymous a few years until the plans hatched. Notoriety just appeared as camera scan fact developed into fiction. Blood edition made it stands cap for many who had seen the footage of the glowing man man wrapped in legend lore. Few who ever saw it, people stand, clapped of everyone he met. He saw visions when his hands dapped. Random acts of heroism. Metal with the bad rats who mess with him and try to plant heroin in his knapsack. Discovered it's the factory. And more than just a bad batch. Knew they throw a blow before they swing a ready jab back. Followed by agents claimed his energy was hazmat. Started hitting faster home, listening to jazz tracks. Head nodded like the bull be on the lamb's back. Miles Davis doing sit-ups to keep his abs flat. And every time he went and did a selfless deed, his selves agreed to elevate his level again. And he surpassed that. One night he heard a whispering sound. As he was levitating, felt his feet lift from the ground. While the spoken riddles, what exists if it isn't found, profound. Now think deep, did birth create you or reveal you? Heard his old master's voice explain the unrevealed clue that led him to a natal chart reading. That was real true. Much he started studying the angles of the wheel zoo. Looking for answers when his wife is getting real through and acting like she healed on the surface. It's surreal too. Walking through life with feet dragging, wearing steel shoes. Circuits of the years flew. Searching with no real clue to the stomach wobbling what's inside, emerging like the seal glue. The thunder cried their son arrived, the watery home birth. Shocked when they first touched him, dried him off and he glowed when he nursed. Their tongue was tiny, stunned their eyes, the oral he spoke first. Aquarius son tried for the rare, but what they didn't know. Across the world, another child was born with a different glow. Their lives ran parallel, but destined to cross paths. Back to his meditation as he stepped through the thought grass. His cherubims walked past while singing at the entrance to the heavens won't cause cast. Switching fast forward to the present time, he stepped in line on which the passport and he tipsy off one sip he had and gripped the glass awkward. Glasses in the hand, not an A to see the baby three. Doing dishes, cue the missus who done let an angel free. She smirking while he working, trying to learn about the ABCs impatiently. Drew his first letter and he made it Z. If I plant seeds in his mind, one day they'd make a tree. Decided homeschool will be fine. They'll say he's ADD. She disagreed the way his eyes slighted. He was made to ski and sits it anyway. That created a split. And over time the gap widened more than they could admit. So in their mind they pondering if they should just quit. Ever since you started glowing gold, you think you the man. You sure as thought so when I saved you, put this ring on your hand. You ain't even have a brush, asking me for the moves. Finger painted things get layered as he reached for the fuse. To diffuse the situation while she reached for the booze. To replace the while I saved your life, who asked you to move? If you recall, I wanted a bodyguard, you passed to refuse. His ego bruised, her words hit harder than his own enough fist. If he could elevate his mental, she would show enough miss. First she cold, then she caring, he would know when she switched. Cause he could smell it on the breath. Did he notice the glitch? Then after this they both quiet as they fought with a stare. In an astral body battling the thoughts that they shared. As he sets it off, a question slowly tossed in the air. As words became weapons, back and forth with a stare that wrapped eternity in moments way too often but rare. Mental exhibition battle right across in their chairs. They sat motionless and frozen like they lost in the prayer. So their thoughts could flow freely while they fought in the square. Astral body kung fu with punches tossed in the pair. While they dodged and she ain't stopping, he was more than prepared. Because adjustment, it was sorta impaired. He white lotus dip, he barely scratched his aura. He laughed, his wife noticed it, got angry good. Reached for the staff to strike below his bed. Holographic psychic weapons made while in the yoga split. Self-defense classes trained him well to defend. Backflipped and swept his leg, he jumped compelled to the bend. Roundhouse he missed on purpose as he fell in the spin. He smoothly took the staff from her, now was held to a chin. Kissed the forehead, held her hands and they grinned. A short tussle, an opportunity exercising the thought muscle. At first he tried methods to stop it and more subtle till he made some points sharp enough to pop the thought bubbles. Falling back to reality, he caught her, she screamed. Back in body, now they laughing like it all was a dream. With roots stemming from a problem way too small to be seen. From Bruce Z to Zeus B, stopped and reflects. When Lil Z was on the ceiling with binocular specs, looking at his pop study astrological text. But stay tuned to the next chapter for what's following next. Superman origin, step into the Z. Swimming the electric waves, make a jubilee. From a young seed that is meant to be a tree. Son of a dragon, tell the epic of a G. Superman origin, step into the Z. Swimming the electric waves, make a jubilee. From a young seed that is meant to be a tree. Son of a dragon, tell the epic of a G.
Fatal blow.
It's happening again. Run! Run!
CUT. That's a wrap on scene 42.
Cut. That's the one. I know you's about to pass that. I know the arguing was fake, but the headache is real.
Carry the weight of remorse and confusion at equal measure. As I return to my throne with my foot on the black stone with Hebrew letters. Silence swallows my courts. The justice becomes stiff as a corpse. As the weight of my words sit in their thoughts. Priests of infinite force. Their faces etched with questions. Then shook like an etch-a-sketch. Out the text, how did he resurrect? I'm out of the second death. The house of Melchizedek. Not dying, just held my breath. Start climbing from hell steps. The gravity of the situation began to settle. They said horrified, he's in the skin of the devil. An eerie suspense, each discovery echoed. Chambers of whispered fears and fractured stories of my missing years. Now I'm back on glory. The enigmatic writing with the tip of a lightning is frightening. In my textbook that death put with hearses, writing fork green verses and red hooks. Inside of my Bed-Stuy bars, it's on shots. I found skills in Brownsville, wall to wall with ops. More things to jot, more things to watch. With a task push to Flatbush, a ring around the block. All the hood flicks and Bushwick. It's like I wrote with a bullet. From my memoirs gun, triggers, ideas pulled it. The results unschooled the reality. Sun Tzu's mentality, this kung fu that balanced me. The T makes me the Alpha Omega MC. I died laughing, attended my own funeral, left wine glasses, shedding tears of joy like weddings. In the atmosphere near destroyed, my index on Jesus' death. Till I get my point across, took the stride of torrents, trying to wipe the anointing off. Lamps with no oil, y'all vessels for the devil. Throw shade, roll over in your grave, I got the shovel. My face in the tarot. Read your palm, see the storm, escape from the ghetto. Where the air thick as a pair of griffins. Above the stained glass window sitting. Angels clash in my writtens. There's blood, painting, ashes in my scriptures. Back off, this ain't what you asked for, it's forbidden. You don't need a passport, all you need is a thought, it's cemented. Dimensions, you going in and coming out every sentence. Peace to Kai Zodiac, Star Map Ascension. Priesthood recordings, standing ovation, the whole nation. I can see Julius Caesar applauding. The search now through purple clouds. Shout out to Thurston Howe, polo shirts through power. Our sounds roar across. Ralph Lauren, behold a pale horse. Young men that fell court. Some sell, some snort, some nail to the cross, while others make bail. That's jail in New York, in every city, state, and every coast. Though there's plenty ways to never choke. Never choke. Phoenix. From a mustard seed, I must succeed. Through storm clouds, the horned owl just brush the trees. The rainfall, I remain small till luckily the greatest tall, but I change form, become a tree. Dusting off my leaves, the moth and bee swirl around me. A world with no boundaries. The ignorant 10% thought it was just a breeze. Throwing dirt cause their heart holds in their hurt. Hey yo, Ty, you know the chart shows when to be alert. This goes from 2 in a verse to a whole universe. The altitude is windy, but through currents and air pockets, a rare prophet. To feel the world is too empty, it's too much to explain. Ty Peach is the water, so it's only right she rain. And y'all know my name. Yeah, Ty Wave.
Taking you higher than you ever been. Feel the rush in the air when you touch the wind. Soaring with the eagles, baby, here we are. In the clouds past heaven, baby, fly with us. Taking you higher than you ever been. Feel the rush in the air when we touch the wind. Soaring with the eagles, baby, yeah, we up. In the clouds past heaven, baby, fly with us. A royal priest beside a phoenix is no less than fire. Every bar's a power line like an electric wire. We interplanetary beings, we could stand the sun. Been to 23 galaxies like a Samsung. When they speak of royalty, they thinking J and B. I'm talking higher deities and the awakened me. Unmistakably, I leveled up from A to B. Laid this beat like it was masonry. Don't play with me. Going higher than the rest of them. Flying, we caress the wind. Tower over lesser men, taller than the Nephilim. Use it like a sharp sword, so you will respect the pen. Claiming my reward every day, I put the effort in. Jewels around the throat chakra like a diamond necklace. Gather knowledge, drop clues like a crime detective. I took the road less traveled, found divine direction. We on the plane of existence where space and time connecting. Taking you higher than you ever been. Feel the rush in the air when we touch the wind. Soaring with the eagles, baby, here we up. In the clouds past heaven, baby, fly with us. Taking you higher than you ever been. Feel the rush in the air when we touch the wind. Soaring with the eagles, baby, here we up. In the clouds past heaven, baby, fly with us. Fly with us, fly with us, fly with us, fly with us, fly with us.
Rain and thunder, the pain I'm under. Paranoid, I keep seeing the same numbers. Even on the train that's coming. Lights in the tunnel. I'm standing at the terminal of eternal jewels.
God is love. It's either you just did. The same thing that created the tree created me. The same element that created water created you. Same element that creates the wind and the rain created woman. God is everyone and everywhere.
I said it before, I'm a melody, a metaphor. I'm the L-O-V-E, comma, MC, comma, mentor, comma, Assalamu alaikum, breaking, Satan, embracing the day sun with night arms, quite calm. You see peace as we sleep, as you stare in the spheres, you hear light bombs, distorted noise, distant thunder, a sense of joy and mystic wonders. Spring is escorted into fall's courthouses in the winter season to visit summers.
The moon and the stars, the fields full of grain, the soft summer breezes and the mountain rains, it all belongs to my Father. Abba now is Shabbat Shemayim, Orion, Holy Mount Zion, snowy owls flying. I watched them closely, then slowly they morphed into Kobe Bryant. Talking, what is he saying? Then behind them I saw thousands of musicians playing instruments, intimate, actors and entertainment giants, masters of science. Get a path with their guidance. I'm in the craft when I'm writing. I am brass, I am diamonds. I wear a mask to keep them shining. I believe in man. I believe in woman. I believe that we can change anything that's wrong. I believe that God gave every man and every woman the power to change, to cause effect, to treat people decently. We have the power to feed the hungry children or not to feed. We have the power to give and administer justice or non-justice. We have the power for everything.
I dissolve the Old and New Testament like it's a peppermint. These gospels open up my nostrils. The treatment's like a medicine. It secretes within my tonsils. Then I speak counsels to my apostles. Like it's heaven sent, like Jesus in the Nephilims. I'm in past and present tense. To unmask the devil Schmidt, to the upper class of presidents. Whether testosterone or estrogen.
Wait a minute, the colossal bones left evidence. Paintings of these ancient astronauts on these stones are copper tone. Silo, let's make an instrument. Chisel, now place the rocks on his phone. Then put it in this box that's unknown. The sun is hot, ozone, layer, prayer, watch. Time stops the invention of hip-hop. This is a microphone. The scenery is like a twilight zone. That's how I write poems. As I hone in my third eye combs. Then combs through ancient black civilizations and highlight thrones. Blood type Israelite to the real Christ is shown.
Do you believe in God? That is God to me. God is trees, air, women, men, children. We are made in his image. So my philosophy is if we're in his image, we must really be close to him. So man and woman must be a part of him. That is God.
Play more Killah Priest. King of Dadanari, kicking wise words to Matani, dressed godly, the book of Proverbs I embody, student enrollment, my music's golden, with writtens that influence my opponent, I'm fluent when I'm flowing, the words from Fakulti to Nurta, carved out in murder, priest rocking cherry, that's from Persia, write rhymes using old English curses, like I'm from 685 BC circa, get off your knees, you know not what you worship, but salvation's for the merchants, black child of the Berbers, the ruler saw her dawn, write it in a book made of bronze, that like you pushing my creative palms. When I was born, there was major storm. A black god in his greatest form. I'm what real rap listeners was waiting on. I mastered the 7 skills, so I was taking long. Then went back and got the 8. That's not in the book. It's not seen, not spoken. Only true masters can relate. In this place, there's no time, no date. God says you have to rhyme to be great. Abanawa Shabbat Shemayim, a whole lion. Like Gilgamesh and write a scroll and soul of Zion. Ishtar in front of Urdu Malisi. Sit on his throne easy and write a poem weekly. Priest in his own, my microphone become a species. All on its own, new chromosomes. Bones Marvel DC. My impact on rap. To free all the righteous people trapped. I'm overstanding, we under attack. Bismarck, your music was godly. 82, they dropped Atari. 26, empty clips, John Gotti. Killah Priest, hip-hop version of Bob Marley. Amongst the Ansars, Israelite Muslims and God bodies. Now we got the whole taps. As far as deep, only priest flow is left. I took an oath to hold a set. The Ashur, Ike, in the writing. Holy Bible, Genesis, chapter 6, speak on the giants. My favorite anime, Attack on Titans. Favorite boxer, Mike Tyson. When rhyming, I miss the excitement. Play more Killah Priest. Golden. Gold, play more Killah Priest. Priest, it's from around the way. Shout out to all the DJs. Stop the rhyme with the skills. Killah Priest keeps it real. You want it like that, so you got it like that. You want it like that, so you got it like that. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. The black Jews to the 52 states. All those who relate, this is not up for debate. The stars form a hexagon shape. Metatron in the face. My body forms in the Babylon race. Through megastorms, electrons made a heart pulsate. Piece of Capadon, Raycorn and Ghostface. Islam is your faith. Open Qurans beneath Ramadan dates. A Hittite king assassinated by a Syrian prince. A chronicle from the honorables recorded the event. Also with the help and the blessings of a religious establishment. Priest is the dragon in the trench. It's raining badly, I'm throwing daggers while I'm drenched. On the top of his palace, I scale down, looking through his windows, eating salad. Holding a chalice, I'm moving silence. Like smoke, you'll never taste the scope on your palate. Who wanna hold their throat in a challenge? Bleeding out, trying to stop the blood while I kneel on the prophet rug. Shots blow through the window, snowflakes in my memento. Gold plates, blindfold, tied up, pillowcase. Foreign voice asking me for info. They fed me whiskey till I'm pickled. They hit me in the arm with the sickle, but I'm calm and official. Alarms whistle, Royal Priesthood came with the game. Save the Messiah, fire rain. Armageddon, the beast beheaded, we reign supreme. Play more Killah Priest. Play more Killah Priest. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Play more Killah Priest. Play more Killah Priest. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Play more Killah Priest. Play more Killah Priest. Say the fake one. Yo, you need some understanding. Here we go, here we go. To learn the laws and commandments, cause we're learning. Yo, city. Our mind is gonna blame. Not using our mind. We're not using our mind. We're losing it every day. You know what I mean? Priesthood. We always seem distracted. I'm distracted. Our magic
always cause a reaction when we're real magic, rap magic. In the streets of the city, Brooklyn, Bronx, bro, solo gems, let's go. Hebrews always talk about reparation. I came here from another world. What we say? With just a hood on me, just a hood. Just a ooh, just a hood on me.
The smoke rise, they ghosts fly, they both died. They throw tied on the goat hide, sacrifice them all to wall. Rainfall, while tears pour, my ears sore. Pagans don't hear law. Theodore, the old man stumbled from smearing off. Weird cough, appeared lost, brushing his beard off. His lady riffing from a distance, wishing he cared more. Tobacco called bear claw, the back of his hair gone. I'm writing in rare form, throw light in the spear storms like a titan with hair blonde, or Viking in gear bronze. My mic like a magic wand, daggers in palm, Pythagoras songs, the master is calm. Relax, moving his palm, near a pond, puffing the bomb, cuts in my arm, strong, a couple of charms, a couple oolong. We smooth when we crush a new song. Purpose, we write verses to his curtains, we gone. Abraxas, Revis, believe it. If I can see it, I'll achieve it. The semis for the dinner when I eat it. The thrones is only two-seated, and you ain't Mike Jack, so beat it. You're like Drac, anemic. Salute, empowering thoughts, a force, creation of man, the seed of Abraham, I am. Empowering thoughts, a force, creation of man, the seed of Abraham, I am. The hypothesis of Herodotus, gods and goddesses, the Eden garden to the apocalypse, religion and politics, arguments between fools and true scholarship. Nowadays, everybody's a narcissist. Schools are targeted, no jewels, names anonymous. Everybody's making claims and say it's consciousness. Laying hold to Egypt, hieroglyphics, Bible scriptures, Apocrypha, and the Josephus, the book of Enoch, of those who pushed it to knock, and the scrolls of Jesus. Masons things told in secret. The only ones that wear the red robes can keep it. Next to King Solomon, the widow's son, and the deacon. Just speaking, and my flow chastise demons. Give them bad vibes while teaching. 12 from every black tribe is leading, along with 12 rabbis and magi's we're leaving. Inspiring hell, breaking the spells of the heathens. Empowering thoughts, a force, creation of man, the seed of Abraham, I am. Empowering thoughts, a force, creation of man, the seed of Abraham, I am.
I am the God inside the sun, I'm Aries, son of Mary's, summon Aries, still on top with none compare me. One of one with none compare me, you won't like me when I'm angry. Terms begin to someone scary, sun canary, sunken berry. What a query from Tamari, ram the health data for the universe. The sun declared me Taurus, ox, and Taurus sock. Sleepwalking, I fought a fox, who told me how to walk through blocks. Tobaku, no daughter, knock, apocrypha, the laws of Doc, Pentateuch, Pentateuch. I can cause the pen to talk, my body gives it Morris Moss, looking through the bullseye. I can see the aura watch, but the all is not. Calendars and tortoise tops, Gemini outthought the clocks. Listen, all the thoughts of rocks. Hitman, lyrical bartender, they call the shots of everything they fought to stop. Ship at the unorthodox, picking up the signal from the sigils and the water drops, making calls all wars to stop. New Neo, I'm Bruce Leo, Roy Jonah, Architect 9, lead the cathedral. How you hypnotize all of the mind readers is reading you. Most High, who made me up from lies that's completely true. Virgos, fur coats, fashioned from the ether zoo. Magic man from deep Peru. Then again, my ancient grammar placed an amber nail him with the Abraham Arabi. Medusa's head turned my hard drive to something floppy. One look, I nutted submit, and that seems mint. Typically Illuminati, hit the L like you in hockey. Mr. Superman, Asasi, Planet Rocky, ran with Shakti. Every verse an ace, never seen me dip the new Versace. Birthday suit and title wear from fashion in the human body. Libra Liberace, weight decisions on the dragon scales, imagine it. I am a jinn, either mage, am I the ancient book of rhymes? I took my time, no I don't know if I am aging. Zodiac, my skin broke, the spikes inside the Eigen maiden. I'm great, I am at this. Push it like I am a fist for one, so I am you. Let me show how I outran a jet. That I am you lit. I am legend, I can heaven. Follow all the planet steps. Knowledge you can't handle. Yeah.
Thoughts of force, creation of man. The seed of Abraham.
I am.
Thoughts of force, creation of man. The seed of Abraham.
I am.
Sell us the dope that leads to heart failures and strokes. Where do we start? Do we believe what the elders wrote, or the ones who watch through a telescope? The Illuminati cyclops, beast mark on every coast. The head of a cult, the devil goat that sits in a drum circle like a hippie, dressed like a gypsy. My best of rocket the nebula quotes is like Tesla notes. Now they got surveillance on Diddy. I'm a cross between Umar Johnson and Billy Carson. I told my grandmother that we are from where the stars from. I'm like Rod Hayes, but I'm Todd Wave with a blonde fade. Some days it'll be an orange braid, half shade, that's just his character. I made hair like lemonade, both his parents come from Africa. Y'all know the prototype, it's the walking life. See, the sun is the source of light. It made my quartz bright as New York at night. They say when Walter Wright, he could steer Hathor to the boat of the moon. Into the cliff, sent to the glyphs to open the tombs. They say Killah flows is like pillar porticos that fulfill the scrolls made of silver and gold. The bars I laid is like sculpted on the architrave. I wrote it like an art display of gods and goddesses with darker shades. I wrote it in the chamber, glowing like the child that was golden in the manger. Only 3 kings knew he was growing to be the savior. Okay, back to rap more about Hathor, the cow-headed near the Nile desert. Under the white clouds, the native dancing in the powwow. He wore the head crown of owl feathers. As the clan went from Loud Records, and Priest and Jizza wrote their signature down on Geffen. And hip-hop's are where I found the presence. The shepherds are coming down from Mount Everest, surrounded by peasants. With unclean skin disease, they called them leopard. I pointed a finger up and moved it around till I found the nebula. I told them I walked through Babylon, Persia, and Mecca. I talked to bees out their nectar, kings out their treasure. I've been counting ever since I've been walking. I started from forever. I've been writing on steelies inside of caverns where it's misty. Dealt tarot cards to the hands of time. Closed my eyes while the mouth of a cave kissed me. I gave the walls history. Y'all enslaved us all misery. That's why I shaved it off and came back bald, a mystery. I wrote it all on big slabs of lapis, lazuli, channel vibes to the candle fire. 12 candlesticks sits on amethyst. I write my scrolls on the clove of a rose. You see them when they unfold, the untold secret me and the queen bee hold. So when they make the pollen bin, I can communicate with the insect world like King Solomon. I mean solar gems, most wrote of him.
Then I went rogue on them, those who stole my pen. Then I went ice cold as wind. Geminis we roll as twins. When we take the mic, we're the walking life.
The D's raided houses looking for your favorite out of Brooklyn. Africa praises to the bushmen, to the natives in the woodlands. The razors in the Jukson, through the mazes of the bullpen. They killed our saviors, re-raised us and made us into hoodlums. Malcolm X became one of the greatest out of the Muslims, except for this boxer who never went to Oxford, never became a doctor, but got the rings of the chakras. Cassius Clay and Hathaway passed away, saw dimensions. George Benson, could this be a masquerade? Preacher said fast and pray. My mother's not there, but I asked her grave. Tiffany's not here, but her ashes stayed. What words will Prince and Michael Jackson say? I was a boy, now the mirror showed me patches of gray. Then it got black, and I started like tapping into a haze. dazed. The mirror said your hair looked glazed because that's how much passion you gave. This is what happened, you still rapping. The mirror became my healer when it told me I was a pyramid giver, a gold spitter and a soul filler. I came to slay the Antichrist, walking life. Yeah, it's my prayer.
Now, who were some of your early influences?
Well, the planets, the creator, mythical gods, real ones, people, flowers, everything in nature, inspiration. Musicians get their inspiration really from environmental things, and all musicians are inspiration to me, no matter what style they're playing.
Tell them, no matter what you do, just do and stay true. No matter what you do, just do and stay true. No matter what you do, just do and stay true. The American saga, straight from the root.
Yeah, American saga, more like a tribal chief. 4 chambers in the heart, that's a Bible priest. It's the high cerebral spinal piece. Sword in the middle of the night, chest boxing and Messiah thief. Smoking mirrors just to reflect, no I'm too high to reach. Dirty, so I toss the last gun, say my final piece. Kai Zodiac, last supper is the final piece. Got 1,000 MCs stuck inside my teeth. 5'9", got 50 cents like a half a bill. Went through my ghost stage, no I don't need a mask to kill. Bust the capital, they yo, oh, that's a daffodil. Genius out the bottle, they can wish and never master skills. Sway the universe, that the mannequin still. Solar radio, Quando, rapping roundhouse kicks. God, you don't make you God. Wu sign with my wrist connected. Resurrected like I remixed the resurrected.
A spoonful of whole boy, spoonful of dope. Shorty choked on the opioid, going down his throat. His fam on his bed, start hoping he don't broke. Stop taking this hip hop culture for a joke.
From the darkness came in the light. Bed-Stuy. I'm from Gateshead. I was born in Bushwick. My upbringing is in Bed-Stuy. And a lot of MCs came through my block. A lot. Big Daddy Kane, Jay-Z, Jazzo, and a lot of them came up. My block was like a haven for that. I'm a fan of rap and all of it. So just being just being a fan of it made me want to push a little harder. You know what I'm saying? I had a mixture of gods and Hebrew Israelites and Islam, you know, so it came from a lot of mixture. I kind of like had a lot of this energy that was in there, so it's like a different type of philosophies in there.
But they didn't give it when it came in. It's slick because it never was just set. It was like you got a demo deal. So the demo deal, at first you stress out like, damn, I got a demo deal. That's good, but just say deal. You know, once you hand in the songs, then you got the deal. So I handed in the songs, but I wanted to hear, yo, the deal's yours.
And 3 of us formed the Maccabees out of that. Hellraiser came, and then Timbo came. It was supposed to be all 5 of us, but it didn't work out. We got Black Market. We'll talk about that later.
It was my song. It was a song I had called As I Die Slowly. So it was the same thing, and then we just called it America. It was the whole clan. So there's a song called As I Die Slowly. So I said, yo, I got the song. Because they would say, yo, we wanted something for AIDS. So I said, I got a song about AIDS, but it had to be all of it. It had to be the clan. So I said, America is dying slowly. And we just ran with it. RZA loved it.
To do the next video, they was just like, sorry, there's no more videos. No more nothing. We done. So after Heavy Mental, it was like, I was really like, man, I'm done with this, you know? So I was ready to go independent then. But then MCA called me with a check. View from Masada was about to be born. I met this producer that was in there. He kept asking me, I kept going to the studio, and it was like, yo man, this cat keep going to your studio session, you know, and he wanted to hit you with some beats. He was working there. He had dreads. It was Just Blaze.
Fourth chamber, we in the studio. I'm over here with Jizza. Ghost and Ray is over there recording at the same time. And this dude, I just saw this dude in the middle of the circle, commanding it. And this, I never seen that done, especially with the Clan. Like nobody had did that. At that time, this cat was different. And that's when my first time encountering the cannabis. We met sword to sword, man. The offering is all New York. When I came out here, it was like more of a, like behind the stained glass where it started at. But then I started getting out, and then artists, I seen people wanted to work with me and things like that. So I was like, oh, yo, this is a little different. And other than the Clan, like we was doing it because we was keeping everything in the house. It was my first time out, so I started working with other artists. So Four Horsemen came, the idea came from cannabis towards me. Can't speak for the rest of them. And then he told me to call Corrupt, gave me Corrupt number, and Raz. And me and Raz already had a relationship, it was cool. But the first one who brought that to my attention was cannabis. He was like, yo, we gotta start a group. I wanna do it, it's gonna be me, you, Raz, Kaz, and Corrupt. It was just special to me. I started meeting people that I was fans of myself, and like DJ Pooh and all these guys, it was just dope. You know what I mean? I didn't know they was actually listening. I just thought we was making music, and it was right there. We was all celebrating right there, and that was it. Hip hop is here to stay, and I'm a part of it. So let's go. It means a lot to me. This is all behind the stained glass. So when I first came out here, I moved out to Manhattan Beach, and I came to Topanga, which was a whole different world. This place, mountainy, it's the view from Masada. Is the vision, is the vision.
Kiss the ring, kiss the ring. I'll spare the life.
Born angels in the flesh with the hidden wings. I'm talking angles I connect, it's a different thing. We Royal Priesthood, we the Wizard Kings.
The most anticipated, kiss the ring. Scream the name out, Priest, Supreme, all real, kiss the ring.
We the Royal Priesthood, we the Wizard Kings.
Smacking seas, watch you scream your majesty.
She's not a raven, not a dove, and not a pelican. The immortalized phoenix, universal element. The throne holder with the flow that's most eloquent. Bringing the rebellion, the mothership propelling it. I'm nicer than they ever fathomed every time I'm doing this. My energy is like slicing an atom to its nucleus. Interstellar, surpass astronomical. That's why my aura got a sparkle like a diamond do. Soaring through the sky, but I was born underground. Blood on the temple from the thorns in the crown. The seventh seal will open when the horn makes a sound. No time to mourn, you was born not to stick around. So start reflecting and atoning. I recollect the sectors I was known in, even long before the Greco-Roman. Time to bow and kiss the ring, you will respect the chosen. I won the battle before I select my next opponent. 6 million ways to die, they lied to the masses, but they never taught you how to rise up out the ashes. My intuition say we trapped inside a simulation, so I'm here to bring demolition to imitations. I dispel the pressure when I held the scepter, the luminescent, iridescent solar cell receptor. I rebelled and I refused to sell the elder treasure. Time to unify, rebel against the hell forever. Every word in the verse you know in this phoenix. Give the people rebirth like I'm growing a fetus. Say the truth with my chest like showing my cleavage. The mothership kiss the ring, cause we the ring.
Yeah, multitasking through the multiverse, immersed in the energy that broke the curse. In a thirst for higher works, dispersed out your speaker box like Peter Tosh. Days balance equal, vernal equinox. High voltage, frequent shocks, outward charged particles. Flares bring more color than carnivals. Editorials, rhymes and written articles. Alkaline, my arsenal, I'm Canis Major. Others are marginal. Fez, brilliant red like a cardinal. Flourishing with other Moorish kings. Kiss the rings, mystic strings. Beyond intellect, holistic beings. Ecclesiastic, legendary like Atlantis. Reminded of divine protection, seeing the praying mantis. King Sharif before my throne. Caliphate in the east, my influence increased from Greece to Mozambique. Crown jewel, laying new ground rules. Ibukare, my mind sparred in renowned schools. No parlay, gracious, build an oasis. Spacious, greatness, entire priesthood, traveling spaceships. Connect with lawmakers, Mahatmas, scholarly, those who know the truth about the Barbary. God's professor, private sector, beat the architecture. Tartarians, so on the microphone, a barbarian. Islam, Al Day and Bay. If we Voltron clans, we run circles round Satan like the photon band.
Jack fell down, broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. The black and brown came from the ground and filled the sun in the magma. I rap profound as a lounge, so kneel in front of your master. From merry-go-rounds to burial grounds, I killed every one of you rappers. With my skills, I can heal, but my tongue is disaster. The eighth seal is revealed in none of the chapters. Burn them on cheap wood. This is Royal Priesthood. There's cavities and casualties wherever we stood. When I black out, I see the bats route. I say things that make the cats crouch. Wings from my back sprout. Serpents coil. Anoint the head with virgin oil. Drip with olives. We sit in garments and spit astrology. Regardless, we goddess and goddesses. And thick as the dip with the garlic. My heart is the chip that's smart, that's trick knowledge. Nah, we kick knowledge while eating salad in a big palace. The roof open and the sky show a rich harvest. The Benjamin man, the black who a thick target.
Hey, yo, musically, I'm married to the group, that's a wedding band. Cycle Jordan rings like Thanos with the heavy hand. The ringleader, the electric lamb. I'm staring at the rings like a breast exam. I'm peering out the next cycle at the drug ring, spirals in the dust ring. I made a campfire with the circle around the sun spring. I see rings in the flowers when the blossoms bloom. Like the onion rings out of supersonic boom. That's two holes in the middle of the BM. I seen rings in the middle of the tree limbs, clothed in the gospel, the noble apostle. I'm moving more circles than the O's in Morocco. My blow made the rocks glow. Killing sex traffickers, my flow freed the kids in the ring. From death massacre, priesthood, vampire hunters, arrest Dracula. Earth stage, I rock, never left in the ground, but smoke till I'm so high up that heaven is down. 12 angels quickly circle me wherever I'm bound. Morris headband leader, that's a heraldry crown. Lying no sort of omens, bodies lammed on the floor. Purple rings of cerebellum, see who answers the door. As I quickly throws, they rain the snow rings like the sound of sleeping, playing ring toss with my chakras over mountain peaks. Now's of the owl chief, ornaments around the reef, alkali, riding on the decibels around the streets. Brainstormers gather the star charters as every knee bends, kiss the rings of his odd father. The Don Zada, in a sense, like the Knock Chomper, knowledge chomper, Kaharaja, squash him like a Kalabasa, Kali Lama, Dalai Lama lamp, Muhammad Ali Baba, uncontrolled voters. They all bowed down when we stood. Big flag, zigzag, Zodiac, Killah Priesthood. Killah Priesthood.
Scream the name out, Royal Priest. Leave the blood spilling in the street. King, supreme, all meal, kiss the ring. Scream the name out, Royal Priest. Leave the blood spilling in the street. King, supreme, all meal, kiss the ring.